My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome back to Wrestling Omakase. It is episode number 264. And this week I am pleased to be joined by, I think, a first-time Omakase guest. I don't think we've ever done this particular podcast before, but obviously we used to do another podcast a very long time ago. It's Milo. Hello, Milo.
Yeah, don't call it a comeback.
I know, it's your first time on the Voice of Wrestling Network in what, like 8 years or something, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. I sort of, when I was thinking of like who I wanted as a guest in September, I saw, first of all, I just saw Dragon Gate and All Japan both on this week, and I was like, oh, well, Milo definitely watches both of those. And I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool to finally do a podcast with Milo again after all this time, because for people who don't know, we used to host Open the Voice Gate together, along with, of course, Case and Mike, who do a great job with it to this day.
Yeah, we were the originals.
It was me, you, and Case to start, right? And then Mike came on later.
Maybe, honestly, it's been so long, and my brain is made of Swiss cheese. So
yeah, I feel like we were the original three. And then Mike came on. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's how it happened. But yeah, so usually, like I was saying off the air, I tend to start these, with like goofy side talk or whatever. But I just feel like the really bad news we got a few days ago probably has to start the episode, and it's going to start on a very somber note. But I think what a lot of people were dreading, and where a lot of us, I think, were really worried about when we heard how serious this incident was, it did come to pass on, I believe that he officially passed on September 7th in Japan. So Taishin Nagao, who was the young boy in All Japan, who, I believe was only like 8 months into his career or something like that when this horrible accident happened. And he's been in the hospital since June. and unfortunately passed away, which is, just horrific news to find out. And again, I think it's something, anyone who had followed the story was worried we would hear eventually, just because just when someone's been in the ICU for that long, it kind of is on your mind that could happen. But I think it's just kind of what we were all dreading. But really, really incredibly sad news. 21 years old is just, that's barely a life. And, just before anything else, before obviously the incredible potential he showed in the ring, his charisma, his fire, he was a human being. He deserved to live a full life, and just incredibly sad to see him cut down that young.
It was going to be his birthday next week, and his debut anniversary coming up on the 22nd of October. It's just like so many things that he's never going to get to do. Like I can't even process. Like it's been a little over like maybe 36 hours or something since the news dropped, and I don't even know. It's horrific.
And we've seen a lot of All Japan wrestlers reacting to it in the last day too, which is really, always really sad. Even wrestlers not in All Japan currently, like, Hartley Jackson was devastated. And I guess I gotten to know him when he was still with All Japan. And yeah, it's just, it seems like everybody loved this kid.
This is something that I noticed, is that not only, the roster in All Japan obviously adored him. He was the little brother. He was the baby of the bunch, and Miyahara was always taking him out to eat. Hideki Suzuki called him his senpai because Nagao joined All Japan before he did. All that kind of stuff. And then you also have the visitors. Zion posted a beautiful tribute to Nagao on both his Twitter and Instagram, about how close they'd gotten, like brothers. And Lord Crew, who was over for the Champion Carnival last year, commented on his post about how Nagao was still a trainee when he was there, but he was already like such a bright presence to be around. So yeah, it's just devastating. Absolutely devastating.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a lot of conflicting reports about what exactly happened and what exactly the All Japan roster knew and all that kind of stuff. And to me, I don't really think it's responsible to get into that until we get more clarity on what happened.
This is something that has been weighing on my mind for, again, the past day. Like, there's a lot of people suspecting all kinds of things, and I would just love for all of them to remember that, like, there's a family that is bereaved, that is grieving. There's a whole group of people who have been thrust into a situation of just an impossible emotional turmoil to get through. And like, can we please just show some fucking like respect for maybe like a week or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, I think what happened will, we'll get the full story eventually, and I think it's, I think even one of the articles I saw said the police are, going to investigate, and that's good. They obviously should, and whatever the real story is, I think we'll eventually get it. But right now, like I said, it's a lot of conflicting stories. There's like Dave Meltzer has an account that I assume he's getting directly from some of the foreign wrestlers, but like, I don't know, we've seen enough with Japanese wrestling over the years, I think, to see that sometimes the foreign wrestlers don't even have the whole story, or sometimes stuff gets lost in the game of telephone. So I don't really want to go into what Meltzer reported yet. I just think, like, it's just so recent, and so we should let things settle a little bit before we get into what actually, who knows what actually happened, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, I mean, right now, to me, the story is just this incredible tragedy. However it did happen, to lose someone so young, with so much potential at such a young age, and just, it's just very, very tragic whatever happened. And I think they will, I hope they do get to the bottom of what happened. But it's just another unfortunately, this is not the first time a very young person has passed away, in a Japanese promotion. And, this one's far more of a freak accident, it sounds like, compared to, some of the other ones that happened due to, dojo abuse. But, it's just this is, I guess, the darker side of the Japanese dojo system is just, when they lose these kids, it's just very, very, very tragic.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't even make sense of it right now. It's like, yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about Taishin?
I think just again, he was someone who had such a light about him from everything that I personally saw of him in the ring, but also all of the accounts of the people who knew him. Hokuto Omori said he was kinder to everyone than anyone else, which really seems to be the big through line of what everybody has to say about him, how much of a joy he was to be around. And I just 21 years old, it's not fucking fair. I don't even. But yeah, he should have had his career, but most importantly, he really should have had his life to live.
Yeah, I think we were all hoping, even if he couldn't, continue as a wrestler, that at least he would get to continue his life. And I think that's really an even greater tragedy, obviously.
Oh yeah, just I think you try to find anything to hold on to in these situations. I guess maybe I really just want people to remember what a bright presence he was, and how big of an impact he had on everybody who knew him. And that's everyone obviously who worked with him, but I think I saw so many messages from fans who were inspired and touched by his determination, by his hard work, by his sweet smile. And I just think that's how he should be kind of remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, I only got to see him. I did see him wrestle in person once. I was just looking at the card to make sure. He was in a 10-man tag at the Champion Carnival opener I went to back on April 9th this year. And it's surreal to think I'm going to be back in Japan at the end of the year and just go to all Japan shows. He's not going to be there. But he had that. I mean, again, just to, not obviously the wrestling career is the secondary thing here, but he had that amazing match with Kento.
Yes.
Not that long before this happened.
Yeah, he had the match because he did a challenge series and he had the match with Kento in January. And I guess his last match was also his first singles victory.
Wow, that is crazy. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, against Shota Kofuji from OSW. That was at the finals of the Champion Carnival this year.
Oda Ward. Because that was May 18th, and apparently the accident happened on their preparing the tour bus to go to Sendai, which was the first show of the following tour on June 1st.
Yeah.
But, it's just
his last match was his first victory, and I think that's just how I want to remember him, victorious.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so weird to think that we basically saw his entire career. I mean, there'll never be another match, but yeah, I don't know, just incredibly. I mean, every single level incredibly tragic, and his family, I'm sure, is just struggling especially when something seemingly so random happens. It must be incredibly devastating. I mean, what if this was more of a health thing than an accident, but when one of my close friends died really suddenly in his 30s, and it just was a complete freak thing. Like nobody knew he had any health problems at all. He just kind of had a stroke and died out of nowhere. And the shock on everyone. Is actually somebody who appeared on the show, Sean Williams, I should mention. But yeah, the shock of the incident just like weighs on you the most because you're not, you have this just incredibly sudden death where you're not expecting anything like that to happen. Whereas, somebody's older or somebody, is sick for a while. I mean, that's still tragic, but it's something you're much more mentally prepared for than just someone suddenly dying like that. And and the grief of the family must be going through just must be insane right now. But
yeah, just keeping everybody in my thoughts and like keeping him in my thoughts, and I just hope everybody will be all right.
Yeah. Well, we have to transition out, I guess, to something else, but it's there was no other way to start the podcast. I think it's just such a tragedy. Other than that, I guess, how are things going with you?
Oh, I'm tired of living through major historical events.
Well, there's a reason why may you live in interesting times was an ancient Chinese curse.
I mean, our government got dismantled again today, so that's fun. But yeah, other than that, I've been good, just been working. I'm working at a tea shop these days. It's really fun. I'm just living with my cats. I think this is the future that everybody envisioned for me. I'm happy with it. I'm happy about it.
Technically, I'm working right now, but which I should have mentioned before we started recording that if somebody could technically cut me off, and I'll let you know. But yeah, I mean, I have one of those fake email jobs that everybody I think kind of wants. So hopefully nobody bothers me while we're recording. But yeah, I mean, I just got back from a really whirlwind weekend where I went to two baseball games and also AEW Collision at the 2300 Arena, which was an experience. I will say that. I mean, I don't want to do a big long review of it or anything because we just did a big long AEW review on last week's podcast. The only thing I'll say is I thought it was not like a great experience, even though I liked a lot of the wrestling on the show. Like there was this Jon Moxley versus Daniel Garcia match that was quite good. There was I thought Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe was kind of underwhelming actually. So yeah, Moxley versus Garcia was really the in-ring highlight, and the tag match FTR against Adam Priest and God, who the fuck was his partner? The new Dynamite Kid. I can't remember his name.
Billington something?
Billington, yeah, something like that. But yes, the new Dynamite Kid and Adam Priest versus FTR. That was good too. Yeah, so there's a good wrestling. It's also had have you ever been to an American wrestling TV taping or no?
No, I actually had an opportunity to go when I was in Scotland last month, but I didn't.
Yeah, well, I don't really recommend it because it's like you end up looking at a tiny, especially in the ECW arena, it's like this tiny little screen right above the ring. And during all these like backstage vignettes and backstage interviews, you're just staring at the screen. And it's just like, I don't like when they're actually in the ring, it was kind of entertaining, but like just watching the screen for half the night gets really, really old. So
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a taping, but I was at the first All In London. But like the venue was so big and we were so far that I ended up also watching the screen all night. So
yeah. I don't know. It's not really for me. It's not really my thing. And then on top of that, they set up the building. So it's actually a little hard to describe. So 2300 Arena, you've probably seen on TV before. It's a very small building. And when you walk in, so there's you obviously have the four sides of the ring. Usually when you walk in, you can get to the opposite side from either direction. So because usually the other promotions will let you cut through the entranceway. Cut through the aisleway of the entrance as long as there's not a entrance currently happening. AEW did not let anyone do that. So instead of having two ways to get to the other side, which of course is where my tickets were, you could only have the one way. So that one way became incredibly like crammed and claustrophobic, even when you would normally be able to pass through there. But then, as I found out when I got up to use the restroom and grab a drink, but like I got up during commercial break, they actually closed off the entire aisleway until all the wrestlers in the next match had made their entrance, which in this case was like an 8-woman tag. And I was like, why the fuck wouldn't they let anyone walk through here? As I found out, it's because they decided they had to keep this one diagonal aisleway clear so some guy could take the women's entrance gear to the back at that exact moment. And he couldn't, like, he had plenty of room to move, even if people moved past him, because that was the one part that wasn't like super, hard to move through. For some reason, they decided this entire area had to be completely clear for this man to walk through the entrance gear for reasons I cannot understand. So you're pushed up against this wall. You have people like on either side of you, like a chair in front of you and the person standing against the wall on the other side. And then you're like, why can't we go? And then the people standing behind me could not see that we were even blocked. So they're basically yelling at me like to move and like, what are you doing? And I'm like, they're blocked. We can't move and they can't hear me over the entrance music. So it's like this whole thing. And then finally, after like 10 fucking minutes, they finally let people get back to the seats. It was like, I was like, what a ridiculous setup to block the entire diagonal.
That sounds highly impractical.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like running this TV taping and like wanting it to be like super fucking professional, whatever, in this tiny little bingo hall just did not work. So I don't know, just very, very bad setup. I would never return to it if they do that. If they do this, like, if they do this TV taping residency again, it's just not a good experience between the random being blocked off to get back to my seat and watching most of the show on a tiny little TV screen. I just did not enjoy myself. So. And I don't even like AEW that much anyway. But my friend really wanted to go, so I just kind of did it for him. But yeah, it just wasn't that enjoyable. But at least my baseball team went 1-1 at least, so that was
okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about baseball, but I do know that I see you crashing out about it a lot.
Well, because the Blue Jays were not supposed to be good, and then they were very good. And now they're blowing it at the end of the year, so it's very frustrating. So,
yeah.
I mean, they have a 2-game lead in the division, and there's like 3 weeks left, so they have plenty of time to finish losing this lead, basically. So, it's I'm just got to cross my fingers at this point. They had beaten the Yankees 2 out of 3 at least over the weekend. It would have been better, but they instead only won 1 out of 3. So now they're in a very precarious position. But
I hope it all goes well.
It probably won't, but we'll see. The pitching has gotten very bad, which is not. You don't have good pitching in baseball, you're not going to go very far. So
okay, yeah, this I can understand. I don't watch any sports that aren't wrestling. But my best friend is a huge Newcastle United fan, and he's also been going through it, so I understand.
They're not having a good start to the season.
They're like, I think their best striker left for Liverpool, and then they were struggling to sign people. I don't know. Yeah,
I just looked at their results so far. It does not look good. Looks like they drew twice and lost to Liverpool already.
Yeah, I was there when that match was happening. It was an experience.
Yeah. My Premier League team's off to a good start, though.
Who is it?
To Chelsea.
Oh, okay. This as if I know anything about it.
They're two.
I only know about Newcastle because of my friend, and kind of Arsenal because of fucking Ashino, and that's it.
Arsenal's off to it looks like Liverpool is 3-0. Chelsea is you guys say 2-1-0. We would say 2-0-1. That's so weird. Like Premier League it goes win, draw, loss. In like every American sport, it goes win, loss, draw.
Oh,
yeah. So you guys would say 2-1-0. I guess, or Europe in general, because I think all the European leagues do that. And we would say 2. So you would say 2-1-0. We would say 2-0-1. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah,
Sweet.
Arsenal has 2 wins and 1 loss so far. So I guess Ashino must be okay with that start. I guess
They're doing better than he is.
that is very true. Manchester United is 1-1-1. It also got eliminated hilariously early in the EFL Cup, whatever that thing is called.
That's fun.
Yeah, but there's your sports talk, I guess.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully the Blue Jays can like somehow hold on to this division lead the rest of the month before the playoffs start. But I'm just not very hopeful. Guess we'll see. I have been crashing out a lot on Twitter about it. You're definitely right.
I keep my fingers crossed for them.
Thank you. I mean, if it helps, we never win anything. So, like the last time the Jays have won, the last time the Jays won a World Series was like 93, I think. So it was 92 and 93 back to back. But yeah, it was it's a long, like I wasn't even watching at the time. So I was obviously very, very young. So
I was not born. So.
Yeah. I was alive, but just too young to appreciate the Blue Jays at the time. Oh, did you see? Okay, this was such a big story. Even you might have seen this. The Phillies fan who like stole the baseball from the kid.
Oh,
it was like all over.
But weren't there 2 stories like this in the span of like 2 weeks?
Yeah, because there was the tennis one too.
Oh, right. It was tennis.
Yeah.
So I saw the tennis one, and I vaguely heard of the baseball one, but in both cases, ugh.
I mean, the baseball one is particularly insane to me because besides the fact that, like, okay, you're a grown woman who cares this much about a baseball, it's normal etiquette. Even if she had gotten the ball, it's normal etiquette at a baseball game to just give your ball to a kid.
Yes, even I know that.
Like the only time I ever caught a foul ball was at a Blue Jays game in Toronto, and the ball literally bounced right to me. So I got to hold it for a second. I was like, this is cool. And some little kid directly across the aisle from me was like looking at me, and I was like, here you go, kid, because that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. You're not supposed to. And then so this woman not only like didn't let the kid have it, she chased down the dad as he's hugging his child, and like scares the shit out of him because he's not looking in her direction at all, and like demands the ball back. And I'm like, what? Like, if you're a full-grown adult, what are you going to do with this ball that's so fucking important? Like, this is just a fucking baseball. It really should not mean that much to you. Like, just the child, it like makes the whole year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just embarrassing for her, honestly.
Yeah, and she got like booed so heavily by all the fans around her. She left like 10 minutes later, apparently.
Good. She should never show her face there again.
It's very, very bizarre. The kid, it all kind of worked out for the kid anyway, because the kid, the Marlins, the team the Phillies were playing, gave him like a prize pack, and then on top of that, he got to go down and meet the player who hit the home run.
Oh, that's sweet. Cool.
Yeah, like the player signed the bat for him. So
it's very sweet.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they did something for the 9-year-old child that this woman like before that this might have been like scarring, and instead they turned it into a nice little moment. So that was cool.
Oh, that's sweet. That's nice.
It had a happy ending, I guess, except for the fact that this woman still has the ball somehow. Like she just probably just come forward and be like, okay, you know what? I did act pretty crazy. Here's this baseball bat.
Oh no.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, embarrassing for her.
I think the tennis one I think did have an ending like that, where the guy claimed he didn't realize the kid was there and was supposed to get the hat, and did apparently give the kid the hat.
The guy turned out to be like the CEO of some bullshit company and like was threatening to sue people. But, like, we all saw you. We all saw you do it.
Yeah, but I think he then relented and gave the kid the hat. I think is what I heard.
Fucking hope so.
I could be wrong, but that's weird. I don't know. It's like people kind of don't know how to act anymore in public a lot of the time. I feel like I don't know what it is, but
that's very true.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know. It's like you're a full-grown adult. You should not be taking items away from children at sporting events. It's like insane behavior. But
Everybody's a sociopath now. It's fucking
it's
crazy.
like, it really feels like it, right? It's like, I don't know, like you see that, not even just like smaller things where you see like people just start berating like service workers all the time now in public. I'm just like, how do you not know how to act at all? Just very weird.
Yeah,
and,
it's
but,
anyway.
yeah. Let's get into the wrestling. So the first show I wanted to talk about was the Stardom to the World show on this past September 6th. That was only a couple days ago, this past Saturday. That did a announced crowd of 1,814 at the Yokohama Budokan. So that was a pretty good crowd for them at the Yokohama Budokan. Apparently, it's their second highest attendance ever in the building after only the 2023 5-star GP finals. So definitely, yeah, did a cool crowd there. So I know you don't watch a ton of Stardom, right? Am I correct?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
So it'll be interesting to get some of your thoughts here as like a newer / casual viewer, I guess.
Like, I know I really should watch more of it, but it's just time and money and like everything else. But I'm gonna try to lock in because I really liked most of what I saw on this show.
Yeah, I mean, to me, they're having one of the best years of any promotion, I think, like as far as the ones I watch anyway. So they're definitely worth checking out, I think. But yeah, the show opened with a dark match, which was I don't know if that was on the show, the version you watched, but the dark match was Rion defeating Akira Kurogane and Fukigen Death in 5 minutes and 1 second. It was at Rion pinned Fukigen, which was a pretty big pin for her. I think that might be the first time she's ever pinned like an actual like veteran, even though Fukigen is, kind of the bottom of the ladder, especially for Hate. But yeah, it was a quick little match here, about like I said, 5 minutes and 1 second. Really not a lot to it besides the Fukigen comedy spots that everybody always loves. So, a decent choice to get the crowd hyped up, but like, just like a 2.5-star little match here.
Yeah, this wasn't on the version that I watched, and I was actually, because Kurogane is one of the people that I'm kind of looking out for. I know she's very new, right?
Yeah, she started in they introduced her at the very start of the year. I can't remember when her actual in-ring debut was because she did like a few exhibitions first. I think it was like January, I think.
But I think she's always been pretty cool in everything I've seen her in, and when I was watching the main card, I was like, where is she?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was in the dark match, yeah. But yeah, the dark match is always there on YouTube, so they are available.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, she's it seems like people like her a lot, and I feel like she did something that can really get you over with the internet, especially. She told everybody she has depression, which I'm like, that always is a good one to get you over with the internet.
It's that relatable.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was your dark match. But before the main card started, they announced various awards for the 5-star Grand Prix that just ended a couple weeks ago. So I'll go read those off real quick. They did a best bout in all 4 blocks. So the Red A best bout was Saya Kamatani versus Mai Sierra from August 16th in Yokohama. The Red B best bout was Natsuko Tora against Rina from August 2nd in Sendai. The Blue A best bout was Sayori Ano versus Bozilla from August 6th in the Korakuen Hall. The Blue B best bout was Sari versus Konami from July 27th on the Out Award, the opener. The overall best bout was Azumi versus Rina, which was the semifinals, the semifinal from the final night. All of those best bouts, they all sound pretty reasonable to me. Except maybe the Red B one. That one kind of shocked me. I mean, that match was good, but there were just so many matches in Red B I liked a lot more. For the rest of them, they were all pretty close to what I would put as like the best bout from that block, even if I didn't have that exact match as like my number one. And Azumi versus Rina as the overall best bout, I definitely agree with. I mean, that was, that was the match I went the highest on, and also one of my favorite matches the entire year. Rina won the Skill Award and the Fighting Spirit Award, so she got two more 2 more awards on top of the 2 best bouts she got. So she was like carrying, like struggling to hold all 4 of these trophies, which was kind of funny. Suzu Suzuki got the Outstanding Performance Award. So those are all your awards for the 5-star. Obviously, they also just mentioned. So like they're announcing all these awards in Japanese. I'm like, what did they say Azumi was? I'm like, oh yeah, duh, she's the runner-up of the tournament overall because she lost in the final. So that was what they announced for her. And then obviously also Momo Watanabe, who won the tournament. So
yeah.
The show opened up the main card with Rina, who again just got her 4 awards in the pre-show, defeating Emma Mashima in 8 minutes and 38 seconds with the Pink Devil. So yeah, this was a good opener, I thought. The way Rina just like lets these smaller girls like bounce right off her at the start of her matches is just something I always enjoy. She really does a good job of just like, standing there and taking these forearms and just like, not like giving an inch.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say something that's been kind of crazy to realize because this is the first time in a kind of a while that I've watched like a full Stardom show from start to finish. Like all of the matches, all the the tag stuff, and I did not realize how young their roster skews. Like so many of these people are so young. And to watch Rina, who's like 18 years old, be this like big heel bully was so delightful.
Yeah, and she's been wrestling for like 6 years already, which is crazy. I mean, they have all these like wrestlers who started so young that are like the senpais of the roster when they're like 18 to 25.
Yeah. Yeah, this was one of my thoughts during the Starlight Kid match.
Yeah. I mean, there's another like tiny little senpai. But yeah, I thought this was a good showing too for Emma, who she really hasn't gotten a lot of chances to stand out. Because I feel like she's been overshadowed by a lot of the other rookies this year. But she got to stand out much more in this match. She got some very close near falls off of flash pin attempts and cutbacks and was showing good babyface fire here. Rina did eventually put her away with the Pink Devil, but I thought it was a super fun opener and the best Emma has looked, I think by a mile actually. So I went 3.5 on this.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Again, I think the dynamic was so perfectly clear that it just makes it really easy to get into, even if you don't know these girls very well. And yeah, Rina's fucking awesome.
Yeah, she was the big breakout star of the 5-star.
Just everything down, the wrestling, the look, the mannerisms, everything is just clicking. It's beautiful.
Match number 2 was Hanako and Wakasukiyama defeating Aya Sakura and Kikyo Furusawa. Hanako pinned Aya in 8:26. A little surprising she would pin Aya there. She pinned her with her Argentine backbreaker driver thing. They're building to Hanako and Waka facing Aya and her partner in Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurara, for the New Blood tag titles. I don't believe that has a date yet, but it's probably coming up on one of the upcoming New Blood shows. So yeah, Hanako pinning Aya instead of the rookie Kikyo was a little surprising maybe, but maybe they want to really put over the idea that it's going to be an uphill climb for Aya and Aya and Sayaka to win these tag titles. But I thought this was all right, like 2 3/4. Didn't really stand out to me.
Yeah, it was fine. Again, kind of surprised because I know Aya from her work with the Sendai Girls Junior title.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought she might, I'm not as tapped into Stardom, so I only realized after that they were building to that tag title match. But I was surprised that she got pinned over the rookie that debuted 3 months ago or something.
Yeah.
But
they do that. They do surprising pinfalls. I think more than a lot of other Japanese promotions, like surprising people getting pinned.
Which honestly is fine with me. Adds to the drama, which I'm always here for.
The next match was Mai Sierra and Dark Silhouette defeating Yuna Mizumori and Sayaka Kurara. Mai pinned Yuna in 9:43 with a checkmate. So this was exactly the fast-paced stuff you'd expect from Mai and Unimon. Just doing some really cool high-speed style stuff. Sayaka then came in for a little bit of double teaming. But yeah, I thought this was just got a little awkward here or there, but I still thought it was, really fun action throughout. Went 3 1/4 on it by the end, so pretty good little match here. May pinning Yuna with the checkmate probably doesn't bode well for her chances of retaining the high-speed title against her this coming week, but which is sad because I think she's kind of like the perfect high-speed champion. But I guess she has to lose the belt eventually, so we'll see.
Lose it, get it back maybe. She's one of those very young ones, so. But yeah, it was fun. I thought I don't love to single out wrestlers in these cases, but I thought the parts with Silhouetta were the more clunky ones.
Yeah.
But May's great. Yunamon has such like great energy. I always get sucked in whenever I see her. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, Yunamon, I really like her, and I'm not trying to say I wouldn't like to see her win a title. I think that'd be cool. It's just May Sierra just feels like she was born to be the high speed champion in Stardom.
No,
so
completely get what you mean. Yeah.
The next match was the Hate trio of Momo Watanabe, Azuse Inaba, and Konami, defeating Mivita Loca's Bozilla, Itsuke Aoki, and Rina Yamashita. It was Momo pinning Aoki in 10-14 with the Tequila Sunrise. This had a really fun and energetic start, I thought, with Azusa just like getting triple teamed by all the members of Mivita Loca. She did finally get the tag out to Konami, and it's so like Hate are so popular now. They almost do treat them like baby faces in a lot of matches, and they get like we see Azusa get killed here, and then she gets the hot tag to Konami, and Konami cleans house, and it's like the harass, abuse, terrorize, eradicate are the baby faces here. It's just kind of funny. The finish though was Momo hitting Aoki with one of those bat swings that should have actually murdered her if the bat was real. Like a bat to the face would kill you.
Yeah, I don't know what the bat that she uses is made of, but the sound of that thing is crazy.
It makes like this. It does still make this really loud sound where I'm just like, is this okay? Like, are you like really hurting these people? It's really
obviously it just adds to it. It has to feel like they're really getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah. I thought this slowed down a bit after the super hot start. Still enjoyable, but I went like Gentlewoman's 3 here.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm always happy to see Aoki because I really like her, but she's not on a lot of shows that are like easy to find and watch. So I'm always glad to see her show up in like the promotions that I actually know where to look to find them. She's done a couple of appearances on Evolution as well. Always glad to see her. I think she has a great look. She moves great. I'm always happy to see Rina Yamashita as well. I think it's fun that they did this faction with like I think it's only Suzu and Akira, right, that are signed to Stardom.
And Bozilla, yeah. Bozilla's signed too.
Oh yeah, I forgot because it's pretty recent, but yeah.
Yeah.
So never mind what I was about to say then. But I think the faction's still fun. Hates are honestly I really like them. I'm always kind of hit or miss with heel units, and you're gonna hear me talk about this when we get to Dragon Gate. But I think Hate just really works. I think they all have great synergy with each other that kind of is missing sometimes from some of these heel units that do like a lot of triple teams, interference, whatever. But yeah, always nice to see all of these people. Momo is a beast.
They always look like they have fun together, right? They look like they enjoy each other's company. Exactly.
And Momo is just so fucking cool. Like, I don't know, again, I'm not tapped in enough into what like the story that they're doing really is to know like is she gonna usurp Saya or whatever, like I don't know, but I really hope that her time on top is coming very, very soon because it feels like she's hotter than ever and her work speaks for itself even in a match like this.
But yeah, that was definitely always cool to see them just like do their triple teams and stuff, and yeah it was cool. I mean, like I said, I thought the Mivita Loca team worked really well together too early in the match, especially. But I was just looking up where Aoki normally works because when you mentioned that she works for Wave a lot, which they rarely make. They're hard to find, but yeah, they're definitely hard to find footage of.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next match, an 8-woman tag, we had Godzai, Saki Kashima, Hina, Rana Yagami, and who was the fourth member of this team? And Kyoka Kotatsu defeating the Stars team of Hanan, Saya Ida, Momo Kogo, and Yuria Hime. Hina pinned Kogo in 10:26 with the jackhammer. The funniest part of this match, so Saki Kashima, she doesn't wrestle in the 5-star at all. She was one of the only roster members not to do the 5-star. And then she comes in here and doesn't do anything except repeatedly holds up Hanan for Rana to kick her, which I thought was such a funny bit. It's like, we stand the lazy queen.
Yeah. That's kind of what she does, right?
Yeah, that's her whole bit. She just doesn't do anything. So it's just a really funny bit to me. Just it must be nice to be the wrestler on the roster whose whole thing is like doing nothing because it's funny. So.
Yeah. But yeah, this was fun. I don't know.
I thought it was...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought it was pretty high energy. There was this one unfortunate botch where Hina just kind of dropped Momo Kogo going for the power slam right for the finish, and I had to just like pick her up and hit it again, which always kind of rough when that happens right at the finish too. But I still went like 3 stars. I still went 3 stars on. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, this is what I like about a lot of these matches is that they don't overstay their welcome. Everybody, like, the action is very crisp. Everybody gets to do what they're here to do. And it's just very enjoyable to watch. Hanan is someone who I've heard a lot about. I know opinions are very divided on her.
Mm-hmm.
I really like her, personally. I like Ida more, though. Which I think is kind of the popular opinion to have. But yeah, no, everybody looked good. Again, nothing really more to say about it other than it was very enjoyable. Didn't overstay its welcome and kind of got me to see a lot of people that I don't usually see, so it was fun.
Well, it's funny you brought that up, not overstaying its welcome, because the next match I thought had the exact opposite problem, where they had so many incredibly talented wrestlers in this match. It was this 4-way tag, and they only gave it 6 minutes and 25 seconds. And I was like, this is like a lot of my personal faves too in this match. So it was Amy Sore and Lady C. They were the team that won. Natsupo and Siriano, who are, my 2 overall favorites in the promotion, were also in this match. And then Azumi, another one of my favorites, and Miyu Amazaki, one of my favorite young wrestlers. So like 3 teams. I mean, I love Ami Sorhei and Lady C also. I think they're a great tag team as the Reiwa Twin Towers. And, I think Lady C has made a lot of strides this year, and Ami's looked excellent since coming back from her injury. So yeah, it was 3 teams here that I really love. And then also Fukuoka Double Crazy, Hazuki and Koguma, who I know a lot of other people love them both, especially Hazuki. They're not my favorites on the roster. They're fine. It's not like I dislike them, but yeah, it was like 3 teams full of people that I really love. And then also Fukuoka Double Crazy. And I just was really disappointed this only got 6.5 minutes. So Ami ended up pinning Miyu with the thunder. And again, just way too quick for the insane amount of talent in this match. And we'll see if this leads to like a Goddesses of Stardom title challenge for Ami and Lady C. But what I really, I just wish this had gotten more time. And I also just think it speaks to the insane depth of the Stardom roster, that you had all this talent in this random undercard 4-way tag.
Yeah, this was something that I was a little bit surprised about as the card was going on. I was like, wait, is there not like a tag or a trios title match? I figured there's no trios title match, just Starlight Kid has the artist's belts, so she's already defending the Wonder of Stardom, but and then I was like, oh yeah, there's this, because I forgot that the Goddess belts changed hands.
Yeah.
And, Tora had the next match, and Ruaka was not on the card at all.
No, she wasn't on the card.
So I think it just kind of was a matter of, having, double champions and then having all these, inter-promotional stuff, because it feels like you could have put any of those teams on a Goddesses match on that show.
Yeah, for sure.
and yeah, kind of a waste not to do much more with them, especially a team like, Poi and Saudi obviously are incredible. Um, but yeah, kind of, eh. Unfortunately, that's kind of all I have to say because it feels like I barely saw some of the people that were in this match.
Yeah, I mean, I still gave it 3.25. I thought they did a great job with the time they were given, but for the amount of time this match, they should have got like 12 minutes or something, not 6.5.
Yeah.
Your next match, and now you get to the real business end of the card here, was Natsuko Tora defeating Mayumi Ozaki in 12:43 with the Death Valley Bomb. This was wild. I mean, this was pretty much what you'd expect going in. So they had, to give a little background for listeners who weren't aware of the build up here, the Hate unit had intruded on one of Osaki's Oz Academy shows, and they had basically ruined the end of a show. Their last Korakuen, they caused the 3-way Oz Academy title match, the Oz Academy Openweight title, to go to a no contest, and that was actually Soriano defending the title. So Sayori, on top of that, Hazuki stole her title. So, I mean, not Hazuki, God. Ruaka stole her title. So Ruaka, who wasn't booked on the show, has I guess physical possession of the Oz Academy title at this point.
So I did not know the lore, and I was wondering why the hell she had the belts.
They did show her the belt. I forgot about that.
I saw her, and I saw that she had the belt, and I was like, okay, what the hell? I had to go check who the champion was, and I still Saudi, and I just did not understand what was going on. Now I do. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But yeah, so that's why Ozaki was like so pissed off here, and she, besides the fact that she's never in a good mood anyway. But yeah, she's like battering Tora with the chain early on, as you'd expect. She's like beating her ass with it. But then Tora like explodes out of the corner with the shoulder block, and the crowd actually chants for her. The crowd is behind her, which I thought was, I guess Ozaki's the outsider, and as I was talking about, Hate's pretty popular now anyway. Rina though eventually pulls Ozaki out of the ring, and Hate just gives her like this gang beating on the outside, and then Tora is like throwing her to chairs on the outside. Ozaki though eventually cleans house on all of Hate by herself. Then she nearly kills Tora with a spinning back fist for a 2 count.
That was great.
That looked really cool, right? That spinning back fist.
Crazy. I loved it. Yeah.
Ruaka accidentally hits her with the black box, and then Ozaki spits red mist in her face, but then just when you think she's going to win, the ref gets pulled out of the ring. He finally comes back in after Ozaki hits the Tequila Sunrise, but the long delay lets Tora kick out of the move. Tora, though, she blocks the chain back fist, then she spits her own blue mist into Ozaki's face, and then grabs the chain and hits a lariat with it for a 2 count, then a Death Valley Bomb for another 2 count. Tora hits the Swanton up the top on Ozaki, but Ozaki just kind of no-sells it, and just rolls her up out of nowhere for 2. That was kind of awesome. Momo hits her with the bat. Tora has her up for another Death Valley Bomb at that point. Just like, so Momo like hits her with the bat like while she's in midair, and then Tora hits the Death Valley Bomb, and that finally gets the pin. I thought this was a tough one to rate because the constant run-ins and ref distractions and everything. I mean, that stuff got a little old at some point, but the stretch run was really, really great. So I still thought this was a good match. I went 3.5 on it.
Honestly, this was kind of exactly the match that I expected out of those two specific wrestlers. And I really enjoyed it for that reason, because I just love when 2 big, like, very, very hard-hitted personalities clash. And, like, obviously Ozaki is this, like, legendary old-timer who's, I loved when she was just handing out fucking ass whoopings on the entire unit. Just, you're getting it, and you're getting it, and you're getting it, and I don't fucking care. It was great, brilliant. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the chaos. I thought that the interference was fine. Again, I have very little patience with it with some other units, but I don't know. I think I just really like Hate. I might Hate stand, maybe.
There's a lot of them now. That's for sure.
I don't know. I thought it was really fun. I really like Tora. I think she has just a great look. She moves great. Her, like, everything she does is so hard hitting, has so much power behind it. I really enjoyed it.
She's taken a big stride too as an in-ring worker in the last few months. I feel like she had a great 5-star too.
Oh, nice, very good.
Yeah, but probably this is like the best I've seen her at least. So she looks really good lately.
Nice.
So the follow up to what happened here, obviously the whole deal here is Ozaki. For people who don't follow Oz Academy, which I imagine is a lot of you, her whole unit, the like evil Sekigun or whatever you want to call it, like had fallen apart pretty recently, and that's why she had no backup here. Now, when we went back to the next Oz Academy show in Shinjuku Face a few days later, they announced that first of all, Taro Okada showed up, the president of Stardom, to apologize for hate intruding and like ruining the end of their Korakuen show. And he was kind of like, I can't control them either on my show. What do you want me to tell you? Which I thought was funny. And then Mayumi Ozaki like kicked his ass, which was also kind of funny. But yeah, then the old Sekigun got back together. So the evil Sekigun is back together apparently, and they're going to face hate, including Suriano. She's back with them, and they're going to face hate in like a full confrontation at their upcoming big Yokohama Budokan show. So that'll be interesting.
That should be awesome.
Also, the stipulation too is if the Ozaki team loses, she has to join Hate as their lowest ranked member.
Lower than Fukigen Death?
Lower than Fukigen Death, apparently. Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, that's probably not happening, but it would be really.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna win, probably. But
wait, is it? Ozaki, Saori? I think maybe Maya Yukihi is in there.
Maya Yukihi, I think. Let me see if I can find who exactly they said would be in it. The Oz Academy. Who did they say is going to be in this match? Let's see. If I can find it. Here's Info Oz Academy. So tell me who's in this match, guys. Let's see. Scrolling. Trying to find who's in this match. Okay, it's on October 19th, by the way, I think. Okay. I think that's the show. But yeah, I can't seem to find, they don't seem to have the exact group of people who are in this match. I can't seem to find that. So there you go. They're not, unless I'm just missing something, but it says I think it is Yuki. I think you said that, yeah. And Suriano left Phantom Limit to rejoin them. That did happen. And then I don't know who else it is. So I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I'll see whenever they officially announce it. I don't think it's like I don't think Unagi Sayaka followed her back from Phantom Limit or anything. I don't think it's her. But I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah. We asked a question we don't know the answer to, so what are you going to do? Then we get the IWGP Women's title match. Sari defeats Suzu Suzuki in 22-33 with the, they translate it as Rich Clutch Reverse Throw. I think it's like the Wrist Clutch Uranage, which might be probably is what Uranage literally means. It's probably why it translates to that. But yeah, this was Sari's second title defense of the IWGP Women's title. They had the exact type of, if you close your eyes and picture this match, it's probably exactly what you expected. I mean, they just created some very hard forearm shots to the chest, just really, really, really hard. Just like this like echoing across the entire building, kind of hard.
It was so awesome.
The match was just full of crazy bumps. Like there was this top rope German suplex that looks like it really sucked for both girls. I mean, just dropping each other on their heads. Suzu managed to survive the initial like Sari onslaught of Uranages, but she finally does eat a headbutt, and then the wrist clutch at Uranage for the pin. 4 1/4, pretty much exactly as awesome you'd expect from these two. They just beat the shit out of each other. Great stuff.
This was my favorite of the 3 title matches on the show. I had a blast watching it. I was clutching my pearls the entire time because I was like, these two are insane, and I don't know, it was so fun. Suzu is so good. Like, we know Sari is good. We don't need to hammer on about how good Sari is. Everybody knows how good Sari is. But Suzu is just so fucking badass. I'm obsessed. I don't know. I just, again, like you said, the forum exchange at the beginning where they were just like daring each other to just go as hard as they could. That's what I want from these two girls specifically.
Did you ever see that video footage of Suzu talking about what a juvenile delinquent she used to be?
Maybe.
It's like really funny because it's like basically Suzu like is kind of exactly what you'd expect her to be, I guess. Like she had the exact upbringing you'd expect. And I remember she told the story about how she once kicked her own dad in the balls, where it's like, oh my God.
I did see that one. Yeah.
You did see that one? Yeah.
I did see that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It's like, wow. It's like, I guess they were fighting about like her not going to school or something. It's like, yeah, she had the exact life you'd expect Suzu to have, basically.
And I don't know, I think there was a part where they were also like on the outsides, exchanging like just kicking each other in the face, basically. Taking turns, like Sari was just like slapping her own face, daring Suzu to kick her, and I don't know, I just love it. I love when people just hit each other really hard. I think that's kind of where I'm at in my wrestling journey right now. And so those two gave me the match that I wanted. It was so great. Those bumps that Suzu took on the Uranages towards the end were terrifying, but it was awesome.
The next match was my favorite of the 3 title matches, the Wonder Stardom title match with Starlight Kid defeating Tomoka Inaba in 21-15 with the Black Tiger leg killer to make her 6th defense of the white belt. This Starlight Kid, I mean, if I was going to vote like on most outstanding wrestler, like best in-ring wrestler of the year, I think she wins it for me right now because she's had an amazing white belt title reign all year long. She had an amazing 5-star, and I just don't think there's anyone who's been like as consistently great in all of wrestling as she's been. I mean, she's having the best title reign in wrestling this year. And, you know, just the wrestles a style that I really love, the technical wrestling style where she works on people's legs and stuff. And she also just like her selling in this match was amazing too. Yeah. So, you know, because Tomoka, again, this was another like double leg match where Tomoka also goes after people's legs. So she was going after Starlight Kid's leg, and just, you know, Tomoka, she got her in this leg hold that she had beaten her with back in the 5-star. So it was a callback to that. And Starlight Kid was just doing this amazing job selling it, just like screaming in pain. She like slaps the mat once and makes it look like she's going to tap out, but only slaps it once and just is like struggling before she makes the ropes. Just really, 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 really awesome selling from her. And you got this insane high kick by Tomoka at one point before it just looked like she took poor Starlight Kid's head off. But then she runs right into a Michinoku drive from Starlight Kid, which was Kid stealing her moves, since Tomoka does that, which makes sense since she's a student of Taka Michinoku.
Student of the game.
She staggers up, but can't find the energy to go to the top rope. But then she finally kicks Tomoka away, slowly climbs up top, which again, great selling as she's like slowly climbing up there. Moonsaults Tomoka's leg, and again, it sells her own leg really, really well on the landing too. And then locks in the Black Tiger leg killer, even like picking her up and like slamming her back to the mat down really hard at one point before Tomoka finally has no choice but to tap.
Yeah, and she was still selling her own leg when she was doing that.
There was another one too where she did like a tiger suplex and like held her leg up in midair, which you know, she's just amazing selling. I thought this was even better than their match that they had in the 5-star, and this was my match of the night. I went 4.5 stars on it, and you know, just the exact type of match that I love, with you know all the leg work and all the great selling by both of them, and just you know, just really like Starlight Kid is really just having matches, you know, really to my personal taste right now that just are better than almost anybody in wrestling. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely respect that. I think it's just so different from the match that came before, right? Completely different type, completely different wrestlers, completely different approach. And I think that's also a real, like, probably one of the biggest strengths that I hear people talk about when they talk about Stardom is how much variety there is. there's certain companies you watch them and it's kind of the same style up and down the card. With Stardom, it really seems to be a very, very well balanced mix of everything, which I think works really well. Like you said, this match was great for what it was like going for. Both of them I thought had stellar performances. Starlight Kid is just, has been awesome for way too many years for how young she is. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the final moments not only were great from a wrestling perspective, but also provided some incredible visuals. Like when Starlight Kid had Inaba in like the final submission that ended the match, and she was again selling her own leg. She was kind of struggling to stand up. Just really, really like high octane drama, which is something that I really personally look forward to in my wrestling. So I really, really enjoyed this as well.
Starlight Kid also, she's such a great asshole after the match where she's like taunting Tomoka. She's like the world's tiniest bully, basically, and she's just like, telling her like, "Oh, Stardom's harder than you thought, huh, Inaba?" Just like, like she's such a little jerk. It's really funny. They announced also to keep things on Starlight Kid, a couple days after this, they had a big press conference, and the camera opens up on Starlight Kid and Tara Okada looking sullen. So everybody online watching this live was like, "Oh my God, is she retiring or something? What's going on here?" But no, they were just announcing her 10th anniversary show next month. So
she's 23, by the way.
Yeah, the 10th anniversary show at 20. Been wrestling a decade already. But yeah, she's gonna wrestle on October 20th, her 10th anniversary debut show. I love the subtitle too. Starlight Kid's 10th anniversary debut tournament. Kid-chan family in danger. That was like kind of funny. Okay. But yeah,
I'm assuming Despy and DK will probably be there.
Yeah, well, they already announced that's the Kid-chan family. So it's her, Despy, and Dragon Kid teaming up in the main event to take on a mystery trio. So we don't know who their opponents are yet, but we'll have to see.
Fun. That should be really fun.
Yeah, because they did that. I'm sure you saw it because in Dragon Gate a few months ago, that tag match where it was Despy and Dragon Kid with Starlight Kid in their corner, and she got like physically involved too, which was really cool.
When they announced this match, I was like, if Starlight Kid does a dive to the outside onto Zebrats, I'm giving it the full 5, and she did. So I am a man of my word. But she's awesome. She also teamed with Despy against, I think it, oh my God, I can't remember, but it was on the Despy Invitational show last year where she was in a match with him, Dragon Kid, and Mima Shimoda. That was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like their little family dynamic. It's really cute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you heard the backstory of this, but she originally just asked for tickets when she heard that Despy and Dragon Kid were teaming up. Like, she wanted to go to the show and watch it as a fan. And they were just like, because it's obvious Despy's her trainer, or one of her trainers, like, who helped her all the technical wrestling stuff. And Dragon Kid is someone she's a huge fan of, apparently. Like, she used to go to a lot of Dragon Gate shows. And they were like, instead of a ticket, why don't you be in our corner? And she was like, "Oh, okay." So it's so cool how that worked out.
It's adorable.
The main event, the World of Stardom title, Saya Kamatani defeating Bea Priestley in 22-34 with the Spinning Star Crusher. I thought this was better than I expected. I was kind of expecting it to be, the big downer of the show. It's not like it could fall. It really couldn't follow the last two matches, but given how Bea did not look great at all in the 5-star, I thought she looked better here. Her big problem is she has that do a move American wrestling disease, which is just not the style in Stardom at all. So it's just that's why her matches just come off a little too slow and plodding compared to everybody else in the promotion. But even despite that, I thought they really got things on track and they really had a very good match. I ended up going 3 3/4. It couldn't follow the last two matches, but it was still, Saya is so charismatic and the crowd was so behind her that I thought they managed to get, they got me into it by the end. So despite going in not expecting much out of it, I did like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Priestley at all, because I remember her from the first time she was around in Stardom, and she was sloppy as hell. She's not. Yeah, Saya is so great that it ended up evening out by the end. Is really what I want to say if I'm gonna stay polite. But yeah, no, Saya's fucking awesome. Nothing to say other than that. She just gets everything. Her wrestling is amazing. Her just facial expressions are amazing. She's basically it's not just her, but she's a lot of the reason why Stardom is doing so great, I feel like.
Oh yeah, totally.
She is really, really coming to her own. I know that a lot of people were a bit cold on the heel turn when it first happened, but I just think she just gets it. She's really, really great.
Yeah, I mean, she did make a lot of people eat their words on that. I mean, she's been such a great heel because a lot of people were very skeptical when she first turned heel. But so after the match, Azumi comes out to challenge, which you'd expect since she eliminated her in the 5-star quarterfinals. But that is, I cannot fucking. They had such an awesome match at the 5-star, and now they're going to have a rematch for not only for the red belt, but also Saya wanted her to put the purple belt, as she called it, on the line too. So it's going to be a double title match, and that is set for the September 27th Korakuen. So another thing I love about Stardom, which a lot of Japanese promotions do this nowadays, but not all of them, is they give you big title matches at Korakuen occasionally. So which is good. Which is good because that atmosphere is great for those big matches at Korakuen. Yeah. But yeah, this is we'll see what happens. I mean, they've already been trading really some really hard barbs on Twitter back and forth, and there's Saya asked Azumi since when are you bad? And Azumi was like, I've always been bad. That's always funny. She's always been a very nasty promo to people. Even though I don't think she's technically, Queen Splash was pretty heelish at the start, but yeah, she used to call everybody older than her grandma and stuff. I mean, Saya should have been used to this from being a teammate.
Yeah, because again, she's one of those people who debuted really, really young.
Yeah.
I think she and Starlight Kid actually started out kind of at the same time, and they're about the same age.
Azumi's a little younger, actually. She's I think 22 instead of 23.
Oh wow. That's crazy. But yeah, no, and Saya was like, oh well, I'm not interested in belts from overseas organizations. Because I guess the strong belt is technically in New Japan USA or something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, although there's no more New Japan USA shows, so I don't know what the fuck the point of that belt. I mean, maybe Saya's gonna win it and seal it. Is the only thing I can think of, because it's they really know if they're not gonna run any more strong shows, there's really no reason for it to exist. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, Azumi is again one of my favorites. She's just so fucking great, and I'd love to see her win the red belt. I just don't think it has much of a chance of happening. So
no, is there a chance that they might do a draw? You think?
Maybe, because the strong belt does have the same 30-minute time limit as the World of Stardom title. So yeah, 30-minute draw is possible, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah.
The next show coming up for Stardom real quick is a couple days from now, the next Stardom Nighter in Korakuen on September 10th. So we do have the full card for that. I'll go through that really quickly. The dark match is a 3-way, Hazuki versus Akira Kuragane versus Emma Mashima. There's a 6-woman tag as we continue the build to the New Blood tag title match. Hanako, Wakasukiyama, and Rion taking on Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Kikyo Furusawa. Then we have an 8-woman tag, the team from God's Eye, Saki Kashima, Ami Sore, Lady C, and the other one, its name I always forget. the one who's never around and I never remember her name. Kyoka Kotatsu taking on the Mivita Loka team of Suzu Suzuki, Rina Yamashita, Itsuki Aoki, and Bozilla. So that could be a pretty fun little 8-woman tag, actually. A big tag match that I'm really looking forward to, just a straight up 2 versus 2 tag. Natsupoi and Suriano taking on Rana Yagami and Tomoka Inaba. That could be really good if it gets any time.
Mm-mm.
And then a future of Stardom title match. Hina defends against Yuria Hime. probably no shot of Yuria winning here. I mean, not even probably. She really hasn't beaten anybody yet. So, but she's looked good, especially for her experience level. So I'm expecting another good Hina future title defense there. The 8-woman tag match after that is Hanan, Saya Ida, Momo Kogo, and B Priestley taking on Saya Kamatani, Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Azusa Inaba. The CMLL Japan Women's title on the line, apparently a real belt. Dark Silhouette defending against Koguma.
Okay.
Yeah, very random. Then we have the high-speed title match, Mei Sierra defending against Yuta Mizumori, where I think Yuna's probably going to win the belt. We'll have to say, because May's had this title for over a year at this point.
Oh, wow.
And then the main event, the rescheduled Artist of Stardom title match, which was supposed to happen all the way back before the 5-star, but had to be postponed because of Rina's concussion that she suffered at the time. It's the Neo Genesis trio, Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki defending against Konami, Rina, and Fukigen Death from Hate. I kind of wonder if we won't see a title change there. I think it's probably pretty likely, actually. So,
main event, Fukigen Death. Hell yeah.
Main event. I mean, she's so popular that I guess it's fine to main event with her because, yeah, the crowd loves her. But yeah, there's your Stardom Korakuen coming up on a Wednesday. And then that is airing live on Stardom World, so not another pay-per-view or anything like that. So any Stardom World subscribers can watch it. They have 2 more shows live on Stardom World this weekend that are more like normal house shows. We don't even have cards for that yet, but that's the Niigata show on Saturday and the Kanazawa show on Sunday. So lots of live Stardom coming up for the Stardom fans out there.
Nice. Very nice.
Alrighty, so we'll move into Noah next. The Noah N-1 victory opened up on September 6th from Korakuen Hall. Let me see if they had it. It did a 1,548, so another huge crowd for Noah in Korakuen, as they've been drawing all year. So yeah, this show was interesting. I mean, there was some good stuff. There was some stuff I didn't vibe with, and there may have been as many as 2 injuries. For sure, 1 injury, it looks like. And another one where it looked like Kano might have also gotten his bell rung or something at the finish against Ricky Knight Jr. So I didn't even pick up on that one until I saw people talking about it. So maybe, I mean, it would be wild if they lost like their 2 of their biggest stars in the same night. That'd be pretty crazy. The show opened up with what I thought was end up being surprisingly the best of the N1 victory matches. All the matches were pretty short in this show, but I thought this was the best one for the tournament matches at least. It was A Block, Daga defeating Tetsuya Endo in 10:26. I just thought this had really good fast-paced action right from the opening bell. The initial sequence that ended with this really hard counter power slam from Daga in the apron, that looked really cool. He also followed that up with a nice plancha to the outside. But yeah, very good stuff here. And there was this also other spot where Endo sent Daga face first from the top rope from a powerbomb position. That looked really sick. And then he hit this poison Rana right after that on top of that. But yeah, crowd got really behind Endo with a loud chant for him. But Daga ended up getting the pin after a flash pin exchange to pull off a big upset. I thought this was like I said, shockingly great match. I went 4 stars flat on it. Exactly how you want to start a tournament like this with a super fast, super exciting sprint of a match.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, I love Endo. I've always loved Endo. Obviously from his DDT days. I think he's gelled pretty well with the Noah roster overall. Daga is one of those guys who I know is good, but I can't connect with him, and it really annoys me because everybody else likes him. But this is his kind of big introduction to the heavyweight fold in earnest with this tournament, and I thought he did really well. Great match, definitely. I really liked this one. The pin at the end, I love when I see a pin and I can't actually tell who won until I hear the music. So that was really fun. But yeah, good opener. It was dynamic. It really set the tone. Enjoyable. Not my favorite of the night, but enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, there was one match I liked better, but it was not a tournament match. So, next match, B Block, Jack Morris, who of course recently got kicked out of Team 2000X. He defeats Daiki Inaba in 534, the Tiger Driver. This match started out fast and hot again, and Inaba in particular hit this really hard lariat that Morris did this great spinning sell for. But unfortunately, unlike the opener, this match slowed down quite a bit. And there was this like really weird and very stupid looking spot where Inaba he's like holding onto the second rope and looks like he's gonna like burst forward with a spear. But he just kind of like rocks back and forth for a second. And Jack clearly has no idea what he's doing. And I think he actually, like, if you watch him carefully, you can see him like brace himself to get hit with the spear way before it actually happens, which looked kind of stupid. Inaba then finally did hit the fucking spear, but it looked like he had plenty of time to either counter or do something, and he just stood there because, like, I don't know, just really weird spot. I ended up going 2 3/4. It started very hot, but the fake out weird spear just like looked so dumb and like killed the momentum. It didn't get that much time, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, just this one kind of came and went, right? I mean, it was short, it was fine. I really like Inaba. Morris, kind of the same problem as Daga for me, but I'm kind of interested in what they do with him in this tournament because I think he's not long for Noah. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they kind of go all in on him or if he makes it to like the final stages. But yeah, I don't really have much more than that to say about it.
B Block, again, 2 B Block matches in a row here. Galliano defeats Harutoki in 740 with a moonsault. Yeah. I just thought this was a bit boring. I thought there was nothing really wrong with it per se. I just thought it was a very average match. Nothing other than the very impressive moonsault at the end stood out, but nothing else really stood out for me. It's like 2.5.
I mean, I'm super biased because I love Harutoki so much, but I don't know. I think he's so like endearing. He just really makes me root for him through everything he does. Galeno is so fucking huge.
Yeah.
Kind of scary sometimes. Turn poor Harutoki into a pancake. But yeah, it was fun. It was not the one I was looking forward to the most because I was like, Harutoki has no chance of winning this one. I'm looking forward to the ones where I think he has more potential to win if he does win any at all. But yeah, he just recently signed with Noah, and I'm really excited to see where he's gonna go because he's young, he's dynamic. I think he has a great look, great appeal to the fans. So I'm excited for more Harutoki and Noah.
Then we had our A Block next match, Masa Kitamiya defeating Manabu Soya in 8 minutes and 20 seconds with the stranglehold. So this was my first look at the heel Kitamiya, the chairman character, because I didn't really watch any Know It All during the 5-star or the G1. Just trying to keep up with that was a lot. But yeah, I mean, so this was my first time seeing him as a heel, and I thought he looked good here. This was a nice like mean guy match. Both guys were just like trading blows, and Masa's just no selling them the whole time. He ends up like lariating or hitting a lariat on Soya that really looks like it killed him, but he pulls him up at 2 just to put him in the stranglehold and basically give him even more punishment. And Soya does end up tapping. So yeah, Masa looked like a total killer here, which was the idea. Fun little match here, 3 1/4 is what I would say.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite of the tournament matches. Because kind of the same philosophy as the Sari and Suzu match. I just really like when people hit each other really hard. And this was exactly this. Also, as a long-time Masaki Tamiya believer, I'm excited for a new direction for him. I really hope that this is finally them going full steam ahead with him, which is something that I feel they probably should have done a long time ago, but whatever. He looked great. He looks like a killer. He's got the power to back it up, and Soya is Soya. I really enjoy him. I love his passion stuff. I think it's really fun. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. I was into it. Happy to see Masa getting the win. And I'm not going to say we're taking the whole thing, but I want us to take the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Ozawa's out, that would take out the favorite, and then I feel like Masa's as good of a choice as anybody.
Mm-mm.
The next match, Ricky Knight Jr. defeats Kano in 11 minutes and 11 seconds with the Rikishi driver. It's kind of funny to me. They just call it the Rikishi driver. So you could tell Ricky was like really fired up to be in the spot. I haven't really seen much of him. I don't really watch British Indies ever, but I thought he looked good here. You know, he did some nice dives and, you know, was selling pretty well. Kano like kind of took over for a little bit, but then Ricky came back with these two very nice corner drop kicks just after the 5-minute call. I mean, he does have that like Ospreyism disease where like he can go from selling one moment to just like totally fine the next, which, you know, I feel like a lot of British wrestlers have that now. But, you know, in a match as fast paced as this, it doesn't have as much time to bother me, really. And he pulled off a big upset here. He gets the, well, they call it the Rikishi driver. I think it's really the Ricky driver. But whatever, I don't know. And it closes out a super fun, super stiff match here. Yeah, if he can bring this level all tournament, I think that will go a long way to making the B block better than I expected going in. So good start for him here, and good start for the for Kano as well. Went 3 3/4. Very good match.
I thought I was done with this family when I stopped watching AEW.
Well, she's not even around anymore.
No, but she still was when I stopped watching. Anyway,
okay.
It's really hard for me to look at Ricky and not see all the shit that his family's been involved in, and him also has been involved in. He was recently seen at a gym that was displaying white supremacist slogan.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so really unhappy that he's in this tournament. Really unhappy that Keno had to be Keno and put him over. I'm again. I set a challenge for myself to not be too negative on this podcast, but oh my god, this morning I was just like, okay, whatever. Keno did the Asumi sushi though. That was nice.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say because yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't even know the thing about the white supremacy thing. That does really suck. But you know. Whatever. British wrestlers be normal challenge, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, the whole scene. Anyway.
Yeah, it feels like the only normal ones are the ones who got out a long time ago. But
yeah, essentially.
A block, Kazuyuki Fujita defeating Oka Sasaki in 4 minutes and 44 seconds with the Beast Bomb. This was like kind of just a squash for Fujita, it felt like. I think the problem here with like one of the problems Noah's has is they don't have a lot of heavyweight depth. And I think they really expected Oka to be more than this at this point. And he just continues not to really stand out as a wrestler. Besides, like, he has like a nice little entrance and the crowd seems to like him when he comes out. But then his matches, I don't know, he never stands out. Like he doesn't have like anything unique about him in his matches. Like you'd expect a shoot fighter to like do more shoot fighting or something. He never really seems to do it. But yeah, I don't know. The 2.5 star match was very average, and just I think Oka's lack of development is one of the things holding Noah back right now.
Yeah, I really, really like Oka, but I think that they broke the partnership, like the whole little thing that he had with, I mean, I guess they kind of had to, but the whole partnership that he had with Keno and Kenta, I thought was really good for him, and I think that they broke it off a little too early. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't really been given the most forgiving spots either. Like this match, for example, being his first match of the tournament with this fucking bullheaded old guy. You know, Fujita is Fujita. You know what to expect. You know what you're gonna get. There's really nothing for me to say about this match other than I really hope that they have like a plan to help Oka develop, because I don't really know that he's going to be able to like do it on his own if this is what they keep giving him.
Then we have the B block. Naomichi Marufuji defeats Ozawa in 7:33 by count out. So yeah, the match starts with them taking turns stalling. Not the most thrilling start to a match, to be honest. Goes on for quite a while. Then they take turns with doing dueling booker attacks, which is just nasty. Not something I want to watch, honestly. Ozawa jumps he jumped off the top rope at one point, like very, very high, and almost landed like this counter backdrop suplex in midair. It both looked cool and kind of awkward at the same time somehow. And I thought at first, I'm like, because I knew he got hurt before I started watching this match. I'm like, is that the spot he got hurt in? But no, once you see the spot he gets hurt in, it's very obvious. A little bit later, Osawa does an Asahi moonsault to Marufuji all the way to the floor. Marufuji does a horrible job catching him. To be fair, Ozawa looked like he got like insane hang time on this, which is probably part of the problem. But yeah, so Marufuji doesn't catch him at all. Ozawa comes down straight down on his left leg and his left foot. He tries to stand back up on it, but immediately collapses. He cannot walk on it at all. And Marufuji rolls in the ring. Clearly tells the ref to finish counting. He can't continue. And Marufuji gets the win by count out. And they end up having to stretcher Ozawa out. If his foot's broken, which it looks like it very well could be, that's like what, like 6 months he'll be out probably. I mean, that would be devastating for Noah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's their biggest draw by far. I mean, even just him missing the rest of the tournament, which I'll be shocked if he doesn't, is going to be pretty bad for them. But if he's out like long term, that's going to be devastating for the promotion. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of an uncomfortable one to look at. People have been coming down hard on Marufuji for it, which, I mean, I guess it's just kind of one of those. I don't know. I think Ozawa was, again, as you said, was probably the favorite to win the tournament.
Yeah, because they took the title off him to like give him the tournament win. I think that's what I would think.
Yeah. So, but even if he wasn't, again, he's still quite young, and to lose this much of your career at this point is always pretty. I mean, obviously people have come back from it. It's happened, but it really sucks. Like, there's no other way to put it. It just really sucks. Marufuji has been in a lot of these discussions lately about whether he should still be in these spots or not. Again, as someone who's never wrestled, I don't know if it's my place to pass judgment, but it's just not looking good,
Yeah, I mean, the Kenta match was really rough too.
Yeah.
So, it's I mean, if Ozawa is out for any length of time, I mean, just given how hot he's been as a star and like how he's been Noah's biggest draw, it'll be really interesting to see how Noah goes on without him, I guess. Let's see how many of these fans are showing up specifically for him. So yeah. I went like 2.25 on the match because it wasn't very good even before the sudden injury stoppage. So, but that's obviously not the story. The story is Ozawa hopefully not being as seriously hurt as it looks like he could have been. The semi-main event, the only non-tournament match of the show, Hiromu Takahashi defeats Yohei in 1747 with the Time Bomb 2. So Yohei fails in his 5th defense, and Hiromu becomes the 59th champion. This was great. I mean, the two of them, they started out, this was my match of the night. They just started really, really fast, as you probably expect from both guys. The only thing I will say for the match is they did slow down a little bit in the middle. They did like some cool little outside brawling that I liked. They did a lot of like hard chops out there. They were setting each other in the barricade. There was like this spot back in the ring where Yohei countered this Hiromu lariat into this sort of like funky cradle looking thing that could have gone a little smoother, I thought. It just looked kind of clunky and slow. But once they got going again, they really got going. Yohei countered the Time Bomb into a crucifix bomb. That looked great. Hiromu came right back, though, and got it for real the second time. And Yohei just barely kicked out. And the crowd was super fired up at this point. There was a huge Yohei chant. Hiromu goes for Time Bomb 2, and Yohei kind of just slowly escapes out to the corner. Hiromu, though, ends up bringing him back down with an avalanche-style time bomb. Yohei kicks out again. The crowd's really loudly chanting for him again. And then Yohei escapes the Time Bomb 2, hits a perfect-looking Canadian Destroyer. Great Canadian Destroyer there. And gets a pair of drop kicks for a 2 count. But Hiromu catches Yohei in midair going for something else. And he hits the Time Bomb 2. And that gets the pin. So not a perfect match or anything. I mean, it had its flaws, but I thought it was super exciting, super heated. So I went 4 stars flat on it. And I got my match of the night here with Hiromu winning the junior title.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clearly the best match of the night, I think, as well. Mostly because of the crowd investment. I mean, not just because of the crowd investment, but the crowd investment is something that can really bring a match to another level to me, and this was very much the case here. You know, it is no secret to you that I am a huge Yohei guy. And I was okay. I love Hiromu as well. I was obviously a little bit disappointed, but the angle at the end where he basically got like surrounded by a gang of Noah Juniors was really, really cool. The match itself, again, amazing. I think Yohei has really been on the run of his life with this title, and I think he's, as obviously sad as I am that he lost it, I think he did have all of the elements for it to be a really defining title reign for him. He won the title, and then he finally beat Hayata, which was really the whole thing that he needed. I think he's been great. I think his performances have been great. He continued to grow as a wrestler. He arguably did his most growth as a wrestler in these past couple of years and throughout this reign. And he's, I don't know if this is like the first and last for him, but if it was, I think he did incredibly well. I'm super, super proud of him. Incredibly weird thing to say about a 37-year-old man. But I know you've known me for a long time. You know how much I shoot for Yohei.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to bring up is I noticed because two of your all-time favorite wrestlers both won a title this year, and I noticed your reaction to Yohei losing his title was very different to your reaction to UT losing the Brave Gate and Dragon Gate, and it just felt like Yohei got more of an actual reign.
Why would you bring that up?
I'm sorry. I just thought because you were talking about favorites having title reigns, I thought it was interesting that I was just going to compare it, I guess, that Yohei had a much better title reign, I thought.
Yohei definitely had a much better title reign. I have a lot of thoughts about the way that UT's reign was handled. I don't know if I'll have time to get into all of them, but yeah, but yeah, I guess this is the return on investment that I've been waiting for. But obviously, yeah, super, super proud of Yohei. I was extremely proud of UT as well. Like, no amount of bad booking can take away how proud I am of him. But yeah, super proud of Yohei. I think he did really, really well. I think that even for the company to trust him to be in that spot with Hiromu, who is arguably the most popular junior heavyweight, like Japanese junior heavyweight of like the past 10 years, I think really, really goes to show how much he's built himself into a real asset for Noah. And again, I'm excited. I hope that Hiromu will be around. I'm always a little apprehensive about guys from the outside winning, titles in companies that I watch. Even though I love Hiromu, I don't really know what his status is right now, although I guess he's not going to be too busy because I think the next New Japan show is next New Japan tour is like the heavyweight tag league.
No, the junior tag league's first.
Oh, the junior tag league's first. Okay, well then, I don't know. But it's still probably going to be fun to see him square off with the Noah Juniors, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of downtime in these coming months for him to come back and work New Japan. I mean, Noah, and like he's clearly not doing anything in New Japan right now anyway, and a lot of people think he might leave when his contract is up, since obviously Naito left.
Yeah.
So this even could be like a soft jump or something. It wouldn't surprise me. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I even saw people speculating he might be trying to like get a position in AEW. But,
oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because he did that Forbidden Door match. It apparently was like really talking up Tony Khan afterwards. So
okay.
But yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think Hiromu will be around. I mean, clearly they definitely stepped the Edo defense afterward. Yeah. It made me wonder if they would do that maybe on their Ryogoku show next month. Because they have Ryogoku booked October 11th. It's interesting to me that they would do that though, if considering New Japan's running the same building 2 days later. So
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be strange to not have a big title defense at a big show like this, but again, I'm not. Bushiroad works in mysterious ways.
That is true. Then we had the main event, which was the other thing I should mention too is Hiromu is currently booked against another former Noah Jr., Taiji Ishimori, on an upcoming New Japan show. I think that's booked for King Destruction in Kobe. Let me just confirm that.
Interesting.
So I wonder if they'll change that to a title match. Yeah, so it's booked for Destruction in Kobe. It's fourth from the top in a special singles match. I wouldn't surprise me if they asked Noah for permission to change that to a title match. Because obviously you have all the history too with Ishimori as a former Noah guy. Yeah. So that would be interesting. It would also explain why that match is giving billing above the IWGP tag and the Never title right now. So
okay, yeah.
yeah. So I guess if that gets changed to a title match, it wouldn't surprise me. Guess we'll see. Main event, Kaito Kiyomiya defeating Kenta in the A block in 13:49 with the Skywalk elbow. I don't know. This one never clicked for me. I saw some people on the Voice Wrestling Discord who are like Noah regular viewers seem to like it a lot. So maybe it was more of a me thing. I just didn't really enjoy this one. It started out with like yet more crowd brawling, which just felt like a theme that was very well trodden on the show at this point. So, and then back in the ring, there was this like really long body scissors from Kenta that just felt like it went on forever. And just this match, I don't know, it was really boring for me for a lot of it. The end of it was good. I mean, they had some really hard striking, as you'd always expect from a Kenta match. He wins the strike exchange, hits the Bushiaku knee for a 2 count, but Kaito then escapes to go to sleep and gets an inside cradle for his own very close near fall. But then, when I was getting into it, it just felt like Kaito just kind of won out of nowhere with that elbow of his. So I don't know. This just didn't do a lot for me. I went like 2 3/4 on it. Just pretty disappointing, I thought, for the first night main event with 2 wrestlers I generally enjoy.
Yeah, I will say though, this is like the most I've enjoyed Kaito in a long time. I've had my issues with Kaito in like the past year and a half where I felt like he was kind of lost even when he was the champion. I think him leaning more into being a little bit unhinged really works for me. I don't know. I thought it was weird that he didn't get more time. I thought it was weird that like I thought Kaito was gonna win. I had Kaito winning this one, but I don't know. Something felt off about it. I don't know if it's something got changed or whatever, but it was fine, but not the match you want as the main event of the first show of a tournament.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how I feel too. So yeah, up and down show. I mean, obviously, if Ozawa is hurt, that's going to be the story. So we'll have to wait and see for any update on Ozawa's injury status. Even putting that aside, I thought it was like, there's some stuff I really liked and some stuff I just thought was there. So
yeah.
It's kind of how I'm expecting this whole tournament to go, honestly. But so the show's coming up this coming week. There's 3 more shows before we'll be back on the air on Omakase. So quickly to go over them. And for now, I'll list Ozawa's matches until we hear that he's pulled out, but it wouldn't surprise me if none of these happen. So the Thursday, September 11th, they go to Okayama at the Okayama Convention Center. There's 4 A block matches: Kenta versus Manabu Soya, Kaito versus Masa Kitamiya, Fujita versus Daga, and Ulka versus Endo. The B block has 3 matches, so Galliano and Harutoki have the night off. It's Daiki Inaba versus Ozawa, Marufuji versus Kano, and Jack Morris versus Ricky Knight Jr. Marufuji Kano, I guess, kind of stands out there, although it's also kind of like what can they even do at this point with Marufuji? This looks like kind of Kaito and Masa should be really good. That's probably the big standout match.
Yeah.
Then Saturday the 13th, they go to the Hiroshima Industrial Hall East Exhibition Hall. 3 matches in A block. This time it's Kaito and Endo at the day off. So it's Kenta versus Daga, Ulka versus Masa, and Manabu Soya versus Fujita. B block, also 3 matches. So interesting, only a 6-match tournament show here. So it's Ricky Knight and Kendo with the night off in B block. Marufuji versus Jack Morris, Galliano versus Daiki Inaba, and Harutoki versus Ozawa. I don't think this show really has a standout match at all for me, really. I don't know. Nothing really jumps out at me there. Maybe Ulka versus Kitamiya. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Sunday the 14th, they go to Fukuoka 3 A block matches. Oka and Daga have the night off. It's Kenta versus Masa Kitamiya. That's a match I'm really looking forward to. That should be really good.
Yeah.
Kaito Kiyomiya versus Kazuyuki Fujita. Soya versus Endo. And then B block, Galliano versus Ozawa. Kano versus Jack Morris. Harutoki versus Ricky Knight Jr. and Marufuji versus Inaba. So those are your 3 upcoming shows in the N1, which we'll talk about on next week's show. Okay, so moving over to Dragon Gate now. So there's a promotion we haven't covered in a while. The last time I covered it on this show was the Kobe World Show, which I thought was a really good show. Just, again, a lot of promotions kind of fell by the wayside again during the combined G1 and 5-star craziness. But they're definitely a promotion I want to cover more because I also think they're having a very good year. One thing I wanted to ask you about is, you're a far more regular Dragon Gate viewer than me at this point. What do you think about some of their attendance struggles? They did 1,098 for the show, which, again, it probably looked even smaller than that to me, than the announced crowd. What do you think are some of the reasons why they're not doing great attendances this year, even with I think most people would agree the shows have been pretty good.
Honestly, I to be really honest with you, I care about, like, for my own enjoyment, I try not to think about these things because it just ends up bumming me out. But I really, honestly, I'm not really sure. I feel like they're really trying hard with a lot of the younger guys these days. And I think that they're trying to put their best foot forward on in a lot of ways. So I really could not, I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't really know. Like, it's kind of sad to see, especially I think in Korakuen you really notice it. On the smaller shows, it's not as prominent, but in that specific venue, I think you really see it. But I don't really know. Because I follow a lot of Japanese fans who seem to, like, really be having a great time. I don't know. I think they're kind of struggling maybe to, like, draw more casual viewers that could fill those seats. Because, I mean, I think this has always kind of been a Dragon Gate thing where everything is so dense that it's not the easiest promotion to get into. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Because they're very I think you actually brought up a great point there. They're a very self-contained universe, where it's like you kind of. I feel like I see less because I follow a lot of Japanese fans on Twitter, just like I'm sure you do, and I feel like I see less crossover Dragon Gate fans than any other promotion.
Yeah, and it's also just the because I've had the pleasure of getting a couple people into Dragon Gate recently. And it's the kind of realization that you can't explain a single story and have it be self-contained. You have to branch out into everybody else that's ever been involved. And it's just, I don't know, I think maybe it's like a lot of work for some people, but yeah.
Yeah, because I've come across a lot of fans who, they watch like New Japan and Stardom and DDT and they watch a little Noah and they watch a little All Japan, but you very rarely come across fans who watch like a little Dragon Gate on top of all the other promotions they watch. Like, it seems like the Dragon Gate people are just like very specifically Dragon Gate people.
Because I think it just takes up a lot of brain power to be. I mean, it does for me at least, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and specifically talking about Japanese fans there. Western fans, I feel like you see more people who follow like a lot of Puro and watch Dragon Gate. But yeah, it's always felt like that with me with Dragon Gate, where they have their core fan base and they really can struggle more to draw from the more, I guess you would call, like, general Japanese smart type fan.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a couple of Japanese All Japan fans that I follow that recently got into Dragon Gate. So that should be fun. But I don't know if that's enough is the problem. I think their problem is really with kind of drawing those more casual people.
Yeah. But, and I think the other thing I think of too with them is, like, they were almost way ahead of the curve when it comes to drawing Japanese women, right, as their primary audience. And now everybody kind of does that. So I wonder if it's almost like if you look at a DDT show now, it's like 80% women.
Yes.
So it's, New Japan shows are way more young women than young men. And, I think that is kind of, like Noah, you can even see a lot of women in All Japan. So, like, I think Dragon Gate's like secret sauce of like, you know, having like very attractive men on the card to draw in women fans who want to check it out for that reason, then get hooked. I feel like that's kind of spread to everybody at this point. So,
and it's funny. It's funny because they still do quite a bit of what I would call fan service by wrestling standards. You know, they do their like themed portraits. They recently did like a ranking where like the top 10 people got like personalized photo books. UT got number 3, by the way. But yeah, they do like all their fan events where you get to like really interact. They do like the Okinawa tour where you basically get to like hang out on the beach with the roster. So they're really trying, but I don't know. It's yeah, a lot of other promotions now have like mostly female fan bases. I think what they really should do is appeal to the Pujoshis, which they kind of already do, but do it more.
But yeah, I just thought that but that was interesting to hear your thoughts on that, because I feel like that's something that's noticeable to me when I watch these shows. It's like it's just like, oh, I kind of wish they were doing better, especially given, you know, you see these PAX Korakuens now for DDT and Noah and Stardom, and it feels like Dragon Gate and all Japan too are kind of like lagging behind the hot promotions right now. So
yeah, and you can't even really chalk it up to the people that left anymore because it's been a while at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
The start of the show, we get the introduction of the new heel unit in Dragon Gate, the rebranded former Z-Brats, who are now Gaja Dokoro, which means we are snake skulls. It's a pun because there's a famous yokai beast called the Gasha Dokoro, which is just literally, that just means rattling skeleton. So it's like this giant skeleton, basically. Now, I don't know, were you ever a Power Rangers fan at all?
No, I watched a couple of Super Sentai series, but never the like American Power Rangers.
Okay, well that's it. Well, either way, because I just felt like it'd be more likely. So there were 2 different Super Sentai that use the yokai as their monsters of the monsters of the episode of the series, and both of them did a version of Gasha Dokoro. So there's now a connect. So it's the ninja one, Kaku Ranger, which was like in the 90s, and then the samurai one. God, what the fuck was it called?
I don't think I've seen it.
Shinkanger, which is like one of the Shinkanger is one of the best ones actually. But yeah, they both use yokai. Although actually, I don't know, it might not have been Shinkanger. Let me say it. Let me just search Gasha. I know for sure that it was in Gasha Dokoro. The Gasha Dokoro monster was in what's it called, in the Kaku Ranger, but let me see if I can find the Sentai Beast. Okay, so yeah, this one was actually from the other ninja one, the Ninja.
Oh well, I haven't seen it.
Okay, Giant Yokai Gasha Dokoro. So that was that was from the Ninja. I guess they didn't do a Shinkanger version, but yeah, the funny thing is the Kaku Ranger one, his name was Young Noble Jr. and Kaku Ranger, he was adapted into Power Rangers as Rito Revolto, the brother of the main Rita. Yeah. So he's like a very famous Power Rangers character because he's kind of a big goofball, and now he has like a very so now there's a direct link between, and he's based on Gasha Dokoro. So there's a direct link now from the Dragon Gate heel stable to Power Rangers. So,
nice.
There you go. And Nicole is giving me a look in this, like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? But
I managed to get Power Rangers into this conversation.
She walked in the room like as that was happening, so that was funny. Just giving me like lots of what the fuck looks.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think there is a Tokusatsu nerd on the roster anymore.
Who was the Toku nerd?
Kines.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah, okay. Kines had a couple of years inspired mostly by Kamen Rider, I think. But yeah, there's a bunch of anime nerds. There's a bunch of K-pop nerds. But I don't know that there is a Super Sentai or Tokusatsu in general fan. Maybe
Who are the anime nerds?
Junior.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Actually,
I'm actually so stupid. I tried to forget he exists these days. Tanaka is a Super Sentai nerd.
Ah, well, there you go. So he probably knew about this. He's like, ha.
Yeah. I think he had gear inspired by one of the more recent Kamen Riders. But yeah, Junior is a huge JoJo fan.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, not really my show either.
Yeah, I've read or seen it. But yeah, Gasha Dokuro, it's funny because a lot of Japanese fans were like, "You guys look so lame." Like,
they didn't like it
because they thought that it was like try hard, and like they were trying too hard to like make themselves look like delinquents. But I personally really like it. First of all, because it's been a really long time, I feel, since a Dragon Gate unit has taken such direct inspiration from specifically Japanese folklore, which I think is really cool. And also because of the lore itself of the Gasha Dokuro, which is, and I'm reading this off Wikipedia, so we're not doing a deep dive or anything, but is a spirit that takes the form of a giant skeleton made of the skulls of people who died in the battlefield or of starvation/famine. And I think I think that's badass for a heal unit, especially one that seems to be based more around anger and frustration rather than just like a desire to cause chaos. We have, people like Kikuta, Jason, Minora, who are all very like driven by frustration and anger, which is kind of the divide between them and the Triangle Gate team. But
yeah, the Triangle Gate are more like joyful heels, and the other three are more like angry heels. Yeah,
very, very much so. I don't know. I really like the theming. Japanese fans, a lot of them seem to think it was like kind of like try hard, but I like it.
I like the theme song a lot too. They almost never miss with the heel unit theme song. So
with the rattle sound, it's so good.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's see.
Yeah, this is the thing. When a Gasha Dokuro approaches, it is said to make a clattering sound with its teeth. So they really apparently did at least a little bit of research.
Yeah. So there you go. Let's see. That's Gasha Dokuro, the snake skulls. The show first opening match was Mochizuki Jr. defeating Kazumi Kimura in 9/11 with a German suplex hold. So I had never seen Kazuma before, I don't think. And then the announcers explained he's only been wrestling for a month, and I was like, oh, well, that explains it because you just haven't seen any Dragon Gate in the last month.
Yeah, he debuted on the last Korakuen show.
So some very hard chop exchanges here. That makes sense with King of Chop apparently returning soon.
Yeah.
And Mochi Jr. ends up pinning him with a gnarly German suplex hold. Very fun opener here, I thought, especially for a guy a month into his career. Went 3.5 stars. Really enjoyed this.
I'm a big fan of Junior. I think what's been really, really fun with Junior, especially since the dissolution of M3K, has been seeing him come into his own without over-reliance on what his father obviously does and what his father taught him. You can still see shades of the bloodline because obviously, but I think he's really developed into like his own wrestler in a really, really fun and interesting way. His suplexes are fucking amazing. He just really goes for it, and it's great. I'm a big fan of the kid. It's so crazy to me that Mochizuki has a grown-ass adult son who's a wrestler. It will never stop being weird, but I'm a big fan of Junior, and I really like Kimura. He has a judo background that I think he would do well to lean more into. I could definitely see him adopting kind of a similar style as, I don't know if you're familiar with Koji Iwamoto.
Yeah, no, I am.
Yeah. I think Iwamoto is probably one of my favorite kind of like guys that came from judo and really incorporated that into their style. And I think Kimura should go that route. I think it would do him a lot of good because we don't really have a guy that does that in Dragon Gate. So that's my thoughts.
I was thinking about Iwamoto recently because he's mostly been wrestling for the Tenru project, and that's shutting down in like a month or so. So it makes me wonder where he's going to go.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I would love to see him. Well, I mean, I would love to see him come back to All Japan, but I would. So I'm going to say that, especially if Nomura is going to stick around. We'll see.
Match number 2, done. Actually, after the first match, Yamato came out afterward and invited Kimura into Paradox, but Kimura declined because he doesn't think he's ready yet. and then he would come into play again at the end of the show, as we'll get to.
Mm-mm.
Match number 2, Don Fuji, Takashi, and Problem Dragon defeated Strong Machine J, KZ, and UT. Takashi pinning UT in 6 minutes with the Pineapple Bomber. Don Fuji, so he comes out with this belt. I'm like, what the fuck belt is that? He's 1/3 of the War 6-man tag team champions with Kenichiro Arai and Brother Yashi, of all people.
I fucking love it.
It's like, what a random team. Don Fuji, Brother Yashi, and Erican. Okay. What a team. What a team.
Fucking the generation never dies.
I've been to Yashi's bar, by the way. I don't know if Tommy mentioned this on Twitter, but
that's really cool. I love, I mean, again, that this is Yashi's one of my guys. That's my good friend. That's my mutual on Twitter.
Oh yeah, nice.
But I mean, what year is it? What else is there to say? But what fucking year is it? Listen, I find Takashi to be very endearing as a person. That's it.
That's just funny the way you ended that. He's a great guy. Let's not talk about his wrestling.
He's a great guy. He's clearly beloved by everybody he works with. I'm just endlessly frustrated that this is all they have for UT. Again, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, because it was kind of a nothing match to begin with.
Yeah, it was. I wrote down my notes. There's for sure a match that happened 2.5. So
basically, I mean, there's one of those on every show. I feel like I'm just kind of miffed that it has to be the one that UT is involved in, but whatever.
Yeah, Takashi, like, his popularity is almost inexplicable at this point, but the crowds do love him. The crowds do love him.
He's marketed himself really well, I think.
Yeah. Match number 3, another 8-man tag team match, actually. The Mochizuki Dojo, Masaki Mochizuki, Ryu Fuda, Daiki Yanaguchi, and Akihiro Sahara defeating Yamato, BB Hulk, Susumu Yokosuka, and Kagetora of the Paradox unit. Fuda pinned Kagetora in 9:18.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the old school Susumu Mochi battle we got in this match too. That's always really fun when those two go at each other again. But yeah, the big win here was obviously Ryu Fuda pitting Kagetora, which the crowd went pretty crazy for. Fun little match, gentleman's 3 level stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all the dojo kids. Fuda, I have investment in Fuda. I have starts in Fuda. I have starts in Fuda the way that I had starts in UT in like 2016, which probably doesn't bode well for him. But I do. I've decided to stick with him. I'm happy that they're finally giving him the push that he was. I mean, the mini push. He's not winning the match, but I'm happy that they're finally giving him the kind of push that he was supposed to get before he got injured. I'm really happy to see him really come into his own as a wrestler. Again, he started out as this very kicky, very straightforward kicky guy. He started doing more and more fancy stuff. He debuted like 3 different finishers in the span of a month, including the one that he pinned Kagetora with, which I think is a really cool move. And I'm just excited for him. Again, me, once I get on with a guy, it doesn't matter how long it takes. We're going to get there. But I really, really like Sahara. He's a standout rookie for me in like across Japanese promotions. I love that we have another big guy in Dragon Gate. I love that he's decided apparently that his thing is to just pounce on everyone. Because it really works with those guys that fly really easily. And yeah, again, Mochizuki is just Mochizuki. What else is there to say? You love to see it. I love him. I love Susumu. I mean, I like pretty much everyone in this match. I've decided to reconcile with Yamato. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, the story was Fuda's, but I thought that all of the dojo kids did a great job. Daiki is like basically the best babyface that you could ever possibly want. And this is his home crowd, so obviously everybody went crazy for anything that he was doing. And yeah, really enjoyable.
Then we get the three-way tag team match. So the team of Shun Skywalker and Homare, I guess the last brat standing, you call them. They defeated Dragon Kid, Naruki Doi, and Yuki Yoshioka and Dragon Dia. It was Shun pinning Dragon Dia in 10:07 with the Psychic Ray, which is this cool little double team flip DDT that he and Homare do together. This was like a little spotty and messy at times, which isn't unexpected given it was a three-way tag, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. So I still went 3 1/4. Still one of those matches where like the messiness didn't detract too much from it for me.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things about this match. The first, obviously, Shun and Homare, I love that they kept them together. I was so worried that they were going to go like the easy way out of just turning Homare on Shun when Shun lost the Dream Gate, but that didn't happen. I'm super happy that they're sticking together. And they still have a Twin Gate shot that they never cashed in from winning Rey de Parejas earlier this year. So basically what happened is they won the tournament by beating Jason and Minoura that were the champions at the time, but they never cashed in because, I don't know, they were in the same unit. Shun wanted the Dream Gate. Shun Skywalker does things in mysterious ways. But considering that they pinned one half of the reigning champions, I'm kind of wondering if they're eventually finally going to end up cashing in that title shot that I think everybody except me has forgotten they have. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I love Doi just getting caught into all of it because they recently teamed with him, I think on his anniversary show. He even got like his own bespoke mask and everything, which was really fun. And Doi, it's just Doi. You gotta love that guy. He's never gonna give Dragon Kid that hug, but you gotta love him anyway.
I do love their whole dynamic is like so fucking funny to me. As a long time fan, I just love watching them interact every time.
It's just incredibly hilarious to me because Doi obviously is like the most tsundere to ever soon ever. And, he's just always been like that. But what's incredibly funny to me is that he has at least 2 pairs of gear that were made specifically to match Dragon Kids, but he still won't hug the man. Like, what is your fucking problem, Naruki Doi?
Yeah. I guess we'll find out. We'll probably never find out actually what his problem is. But his problem is he is Naruki Doi.
Yeah, it, isn't it? It's for 25 years at this point, you're never gonna get anything.
Match number 6, the trio of Hyo, Benkei, and Rita from the Love and Peace unit, defeating Gaja Dokarose, Jason Lee, Kota Minoura, and Madoka Kikuta. Benkei pinning Minoura in 3:34 with a spear. This was like a really, really, really quick match, but while it was lasted, I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, Jason Lee, he carried an actual skull out with him. I was like, well, probably not a real human skull actually, but a skull.
Jason has been really into accessorizing since he turned heel. It's really fun. New metal and accessories, that's his thing.
Yeah, it's like I do like the new like vaguely goth look for all 3 of these guys. I thought it looked good on all of them. But yeah, Benkei. So Benkei gets his chair broken over his head, but he goes into zombie mode and just fucking cleans house on everybody, and he just spears Minoura out of midair and suddenly gets the pin. Fun as hell while it lasted. 3 stars. Really, really fun little 3-minute match.
It was so badass. Oh my god. The moment where Benkei just no-sold the chair shot had me jumping out of my seat. I was so hyped for it. I thought it was just perfect. His face was perfect. I think Benkei's really, 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 really come into his own like a second time. It's kind of, he's had a really weird kind of trajectory. But everything's been really working for him over the past like year. Even though they botched his second Dream Gate reign. Anyway, I don't know. I really enjoy it. I enjoy everybody in this match. Minoura is someone who has a lot of people talking negatively about him. To me, he's one of the most fascinating characters in Dragon Gate currently. Because he's clearly going through a gifted kid burnout. arc, which I find really interesting. But yeah, 3 minutes is 3 minutes. It was about as much fun as you were gonna get out of it. And Benkei rules is always the conclusion that we come to at the end.
Yeah, I mean, the Minoura, I'm sure even from afar you can see the parallels. He feels like the Shota Umino of Dragon Gate, where like he's a younger guy, and a lot of people don't seem to like him, and everything he does is very overanalyzed.
Yeah, and people kind of talk about him in the same way that they talk about Umino, where they're basically saying that he should just hang it up at this point, which I think is fucking insane, like just an insane thing to say. I don't know.
But like a Japanese wrestler in their 20s, it's like, yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, like I think because he debuted quite young, and he was, I think this is a discussion that I've been having about Minoura for like a year and a half, is that he's unfortunately the T-Hawk of his generation. And I really, really hope for him that things are going to pan out better than they did for T-Hawk. I think he has all of the tools. He's like great. I think he's got a great appeal as a wrestler. I really, really like what he does as a wrestler. The heel stuff, he's clearly still figuring out. But I really like his character arc, and I think that things are going to work out. I really want to believe that things are going to work out for him.
So this win for Benkei sets up him getting a Dreamgate shot against Kikuta on October 8th back at Korakuen. So speaking of how much we like it when promotions run big title matches at Korakuen, that's a big title match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I think Kikuta really unlocked something special when he turned heel. It just works for him, and Benkei is Benkei. So I really can't see it, unless, and this is going to be my kind of problem, is that I grew really bored of the Zebrats interference and antics for a lot of like the last part of their run. So that's kind of the only thing that I could see dragging this match down. But if Benkei does what Benkei did in this match, I think we're really in business.
Yeah, exactly. Match number 6, the Open the Brave Gate title. I know this is not a wrestler you enjoy talking about, so I'll try to keep it quick. Ryoya Tanaka defeats Jackie Kame in 1458 with the Stardust Press to make his 3rd successful defense. I thought this was a very good match, definitely the match of the show. There's a very nice flipping dive by Tanaka onto pretty much all of Love and Peace at ringside early on. That was really cool. And the match at the end, it had that, that insane final sequence that you get out of a big Dragon Gate match when they're really good, where they just went back and forth, just kicking out of everything. Tanaka just barely kicks out of a pair of cradles. He catches Jackie with this big step up enziguri. He hits the Oz Cutter and the Buzzsaw kick for his own very close near fall. Crowd is like totally losing their shit too, which always helps. And then Tanaka wins with the Stardust Press. Incredible closing stretch. Makes an easy 4 stars for me, and definitely the best match of the show.
So here's the thing. I really like Tanaka. I really, really do. It's not him, it's me. I was gonna be sour on anyone that beat UT. That's just my burden to bear. That's, whatever. I really, really like Tanaka. I've always thought he was a great, great, great prospect for the Brave Gate scene. Same as Jackie. I think those two... I remember there was a match in November of 2023, the first match that Tanaka wrestled as a member of D-Courage. There was an 8-man. It was D-Courage when there were still 4 of them against a Natural Vibes team that had Jackie in it. And those two were involved in the closing stretch with Jackie pinning Tanaka. And I remember thinking, I've rewatched this match a lot because I really, really like it. And I always thought that those two had a great Brave Gate match in them. And they clearly do. Jackie's great. Tanaka is great, although his body is terrifying. Please drink some water. But I have a mental block that I'm gonna need to get over because I'm a fucking adult person. But yeah, I do want to dispel the myths and rumors that I don't like Ryoya Tanaka. I really, really like Tanaka. I think he's great. I do think, and this is going to sound so hypocritical, I do think that he's not exactly in a position to lead, in the sense that I think he he's been lucky that he's had really, really great opponents. Obviously, he's really great himself, but there were times where he felt a little bit like he was waiting for something. But overall, I really like those two guys. Jackie is a miracle because everything about him is so corny, but it just works. The gear is terrible. The music I really love, but it's so unserious. But he's really, really fucking great. And again, I always thought those two had a great Brave Gate match in them. Even from when Tanaka was still very, very green, because that match was in November. I think he debuted in like mid 2023. But yeah, my own mental block aside, because I was going to be sour on anyone that defeated UT, especially this soon, and I'm not going to go on a diatribe about everything because I'm still really proud of him. But yeah, really enjoyable. Jackie's great. Tanaka is great. Please drink some water. That's my closing statement.
There you go. Okay, so looking at what's announced. Oh, so we did get a title challenge here. So Ryufuda came out as the next challenger, and that's going to happen in Sendai apparently. So that will be on what's the exact date? September the 14th. Yep, September 14th in Sendai. So there you go. So there's your next.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this for a couple of reasons. I think this is going to be my big test for Tanaka to see if he can actually lead by himself, because Fuda is another guy that lost a lot of time to injury. I have a type. And so he's never really had this opportunity. He was supposed to get it against Ishin in October of 2023. He didn't get it. He doesn't have a lot of experience in big singles matches, so I'm really counting on Tanaka to get in there with him. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how their styles will clash, because they're so different. Jackie and Tanaka are two guys that were always gonna mesh, but I'm really interested to see how it's gonna go for Fuda. Don't hesitate to cut me off, by the way. But yeah, exciting. Fuda's gonna lose, but he's gonna make a statement, and I'm really excited.
There you go. So now we get to the main event. So I saw a lot of people seem to really like this. Unfortunately, I just did not get into it at all. This was Gaja Dokoro, Kai Ishin, and Yoshiki Kato defeating Flamita, Luis Monte, and Bendito in 22-28 in a Triangle Gate ladder match. So this was a third attempted defense by Team Mexico, so they failed in their V3, and Gaja Dokoro became the 95th champions. I don't know. I just thought this was very, very sloppy and messy. At one point, they literally just dropped Bendito at one point, trying to do a triple powerbomb on him in the corner, and then just had to pick him up and do it again. That looked pretty bad. Just bad, the bad kind of chaos to me. People just running in out of nowhere. Kind of difficult to even follow what's going on. I just wasn't into this at all. It also just felt like it would never end to me before Ishin finally just missed in Flamita's face at the top of the ladder and just grabbed the belt for the win, which I thought was kind of a weak ending on top of everything else. So yeah, I kind of thought this sucked. I went 2 stars just for some decent bumps. Wow. I've never been a ladder match person. They've just never been a match I've liked, and I've been sick of them for 20 plus years. So it was starting at a big deficit for me with that, and just it never got me.
Okay, that makes sense. I did enjoy it a lot more than you did, I think. What's interesting is that I think some of the big spots really went about as well as they could have, while still kind of walking that tightrope of oh, you really got lucky on this one. But I think it was just kind of, I kind of hopelessly wanted Team Mexico to retain, but it was kind of written in the stars that this new unit was going to win. I like the team of Ishin and Kato more than I like the team of Ishin, Kato, and Kai. Kai is Kai. But Ishin and Kato, I think, have incredible potential, and I would have preferred for them to get built as the next Twin Gate champions rather than this. Although, there's still time. It's the Triangle Gates. They're probably going to change hands within the next 4 weeks. But yeah, I liked it. I don't know. I enjoyed it. The big spots really hit it for me. I thought Ishin looks fucking great. He's really, again, another guy that has really come into his own over the past year and a half. Just putting on all that weight and decided to become just a big bad motherfucker. I think it really works for him. Kato has really grown on me as well. Kai is Kai. I love Luis Monte with all of my heart. Flamita is amazing, and Bendito, and I'm honestly gonna miss Bendito if this is the end of his time in Dragon Gate. I thought everybody did about as well as they could have with the match stip. And we got new champions, but I think the match was very much more about the post-match angle.
Yeah, so the post-match angle, Shun Skywalker and Homare come out at the end. They confront, as Shun calls them, his former lackeys that he took out of nothing, which I love how over the top cocky he still is. He lost the Dream Gate. He got turned on by all his former partners, and he is completely unrepentant. He's still an asshole. So it's pretty funny.
Delusion. Convince yourself.
So he basically tries to nominate him and Homari alone as the next Triangle Gate challengers. He just says the three of them, or really the entire unit, is no match for the two of us. So he's like, he asked GM Ryo Saito to book the match, but Saito's like, dude, no, you need three people for a Triangle Gate challenge. This is basic math. There's two of you. So Shun then invites Kazuma Kimura, who, remember, earlier in the night turned down Yamato's invite to join Paradox. They invite him to be their partner, and Shun just says, he's like, we can win even with the greenest boy on the roster. I thought was funny. But yeah, I thought the post-match angle was so much better than the actual match. Like, the post-match angle was really fun.
It's gonna be really interesting for the reason that I think everybody is expecting Kimura to join Gasha Dokuro. I don't want him to. I kind of want him to get brainwashed and stick around with Shun. But I think it's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, it's going to be fun either way. I like that they're putting their rookies and taking them in such big spots. I think that it shows a lot of confidence, which is a great sign. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing especially how Homari and Kimura are going to work together, because we got a lot of Homari and Shun. Obviously, that's Mama. But I'm really excited to see how the two boys work together, if they work together at all.
Yeah, well, we'll have to. I guess we'll have to say, but it'll be interesting. But yeah, I thought this was overall an okay Korakuen. It was more about storyline advancement than like great matches. But the Brave Gate match is really worth watching. But the rest of the show is like kind of whatever. Some upcoming stuff in Dragon Gate. Let's see. I mentioned the Sendai title match already on the 14th. They have this really wacky show coming up, the Gate of Miyane, which I guess is it's specifically booked by this celebrity announcer, right? That's why it's called that.
Yeah.
So that's sorry, what were you gonna say?
It's Seiji Miyane, who is Shun has a very weird fixation on that man. If I were him, I would take out a restraining order.
So Dino is going to be teaming up with what looks like Don Fuji and Masaki Mochizuki in drag on that show.
Absolutely.
So Don Shoku Dino, Masaki Mochizuki, and Don Fuji in drag against Kai, BB Hulk, and Shun Skywalker. Not Shun Skywalker. And Hio. It's Hio. Thank you. That's why it was auto translating to leopard. I was like, yeah. Okay, so Kai, BB Hulk, and Hio are teaming up to face Don Shoku Dino, Masaki Mochizuki in drag, and Don Fuji in drag. So what a match that'll be.
This is good. It's good because you got obviously Kai, Hulk, and Hyo all have history together, so it's going to be interesting to see. And I know that at least two of them have done drag before, so
yeah. Very interesting. The main event, as you mentioned, was Minoru Suzuki and Yamato teaming up against Shun Skywalker and X. So I'll have to see who X is. There's also Yuki Yoshioka teaming up with Mao from DDT to face Dragon Kid and Dragon Dia. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, some cool stuff on this show. So we'll see. A very different show for Dragon Gate. So the next normal Korakuen is on. God, what did we say the date was? It is October 8th, and that is the show where Benkei is challenging Kikuta for the Open the Dream Gate. So that's the next normal Korakuen show. But there you go. Upcoming Dragon Gate stuff that I did a very bad job on. The next and last promotion we're going to talk about in this episode is All Japan. I'm glad we saved them to the end because it feels weird to like talk about anything with them right now with what happened. Obviously, the tragedy we talked about at the start of the show, and especially feels weird to like criticize their matches and stuff. Like, it wouldn't shock me if like, I don't know if this is me like thinking about it too much, but like, it feels like ever since Taishin, the accident happened, apparently happened right in front of everybody. The promotion hasn't been the same, and like, it may have honestly just scarred some people there and just made them, less able to, less. I don't know, like people may just honestly be that upset about this still. That's affecting their performances. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you to see something like that happen to someone who was so popular apparently backstage, I mean, it must have had an effect on people.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's just a little thing I wanted to throw out there because it just feels like it's very possible to me. So we're just going to talk about 4 matches here. The next 4, the 4 quarterfinals in the All Japan Odo tournament. The first show was up from September 3rd at Shinkiba First Ring, in front of a sellout crowd of 339. And the first tournament match was Ryuki Honda defeating Davey Boy Smith Jr. in 1550.
Thank you, God.
This was like, I don't know, it wasn't horrible. It was just very slow and kind of boring, like almost every Davey Boy Smith match. I did think it was very weird that Honda was encouraging the crowd to chant Japanese. He somehow made a match with Davey Boy Smith about xenophobia. I was like, what's going on here?
Okay,
like,
so I have an inkling as to what might be going on. So when Davey Boy Smith Jr. was the Triple Crown champion in December of last year, he was in the tag league with Miyahara, and they lost a match to Honda and Ayabe. And in his backstage comments, Davey Boy Smith Jr. told Honda to go back to North Korea.
Wow, Jesus.
So that might be what it is.
Well, I forgot all about that. Wow.
It's been so long that I'm maybe kind of extrapolating, but I also don't want people to forget that he said that.
So Honda could just be saying I'm Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. I didn't even think about that. Wow, that is crazy. There was finally some decent action around the 15-minute mark. Some big lariats from Honda, and Davey Boy superplexed him, but Honda immediately cradled him as soon as they hit the mat, and that got the pin. Boring most of the way. I've certainly seen way worse Davey Boy Smith Jr. matches though, so it was like 2 3/4. It was all right.
Yeah, this match was just my personal hell because Honda is my favorite of the younger All Japan guys, and Davey Boy Smith Jr. might just be currently my least favorite wrestler on the planet. So it was difficult to get through, very nerve-wracking at the thought that Honda might lose, but he pulled it out in the end. I like to see him coming up with more inventive strategies to win. And that's about all I can say about it, honestly. I'm just glad it's over.
The main event was Ren Ayabe defeating Zion in 22:02 with the Death Roulette. So that means Ren Ayabe and Ryuki Honda is your first semifinal. That is the first Odo tournament semifinal match. I don't know. I thought this was very, 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 very boring. Very slow brawling all around ringside. And then Ayabe very slowly choked Zion on the corner. When the coolest thing in the match was this point, to that point at least, was Zion rolling backward and hitting a weak looking spear. It's not good. So the one thing I would say is the crowd really got into this at the end, and I don't really understand why, because I didn't think anything that happened was very good. But I mean, sometimes the All Japan crowds right now, will say are very forgiving. I feel like, and they are they love their All Japan wrestlers, and they got behind Ayabe and they were really into the end of this match. So, I'm not that's good. I mean, it's good that Ayabe is over and it's good the crowd was into it, but I just thought this was pretty bad. I thought it was, I 1.5 stars. I really thought this sucked.
I mean, that's essentially the thing, is that with current All Japan, I think the fans aren't necessarily like deluded as to the state of the promotion, but I think a lot of people have a lot of goodwill in the wrestlers themselves. And I follow, obviously I watch every All Japan show. I follow a lot of Japanese All Japan fans, and that's really the kind of spirit that it seems to be in. People love their guys and they really want to see them do well. So I think they're kind of trying to do the whole take my energy thing. But yeah, okay, so the problem with this match is that Zion, bless his heart, is not very good.
Especially singles matches. I think he's been a little better in tags, but singles he still struggles with.
I think he has great chemistry with Ashino as a tag team, but he struggles in singles. And Ayabe is a guy who is another guy, I feel like this has kind of been my theme on this show, is another guy that has really come into his own over the past year and a half, but I don't know that he's ready to lead someone who is at Zion's level.
Yeah.
So it did end up making for a match that was a little bit of a slog. I think it went way too long. I remember like texting a friend when the match was happening. I was like, do they know that not every match has to go 20 minutes? But I don't know. Ayabe winning was kind of a foregone conclusion, so that's nice. I'm really happy that we get another Honda and Ayabe match, because their Odo tournament final from last year I thought was really good. Those are two guys that I think will really benefit from growing alongside each other. And I thought that the post-match was sweet. The little show of respect was really nice.
Am I remembering wrong? Did they have one in the Champion Carnival this year too?
Did they have a match in the Champion Carnival?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ayabe is currently up 2 against Honda.
Yeah, so I remember thinking that was pretty good. That was quite good too, that Champion Carnival match. So hopefully they can have another good one next week. But yeah,
they were. Yeah, I really love them as a tag team, and I think they were great together as opponents. So I'm really excited for their semifinal.
So the other 2 quarterfinal matches happened this past Saturday, September 6th, from the Light Cube Utsunomiya in front of 598 people. Oh, I wanted to mention too what you mentioned about the All Japan fans really liking their guys. Yeah. I felt like I totally got that vibe too when I went to the shows, because I was sitting behind at the December 31st 2023 show. I was sitting behind these 2 women who loved the Saito brothers, I think, more than anyone has ever loved anything, which I thought was funny. But yeah, you totally get that vibe. They have their guys and they're like really, really, really into their guys. So in a way, like they're really there for them, like you were saying. So the September 6th Odo show. This show had again two more tournament matches, I should say. This was Daisuke Sekimoto defeating Odyssey in 10 minutes and 30 seconds to move himself onto the semifinals as well. They started with a pose off that was mildly amusing, I guess, but after that it was very, very slow and lumbering, as you would probably expect. Like Sekimoto collapsing to his knees, selling one knee to the gut level of slow and lumbering. Yeah. The only highlight really was Sekimoto hitting a nice backdrop suplex on the very large man he was facing. But I don't know. This match ended with a very clumsy looking schoolboy after Odyssey gently collided with the corner. Did not look good. Pretty fucking bad. I guess still a step up from Odyssey's last match, but and thank God he didn't advance at least. But yeah, 1 star for this. Pretty bad.
This is kind of the thing. I think Odyssey just has not been there long enough to be in this kind of spot. And Sekimoto, again, bless his heart, one of my favorites of all time, but he's just not the Sekimoto from 10 years ago anymore. And it's very clear he recently had a really bad injury scare. It's very clear that he's just not the wrestler he used to be, which is kind of sad. But yeah, I will take him in the semifinals any day. I think, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. The other quarterfinal was Kento Miyahara defeating Naoya Nomura in 2038 with the shutdown suplex hold. Man, this was the big disappointment for me. I was like looking forward to this and being like, this is going to be the match that saves the tournament after, haven't been any good matches since the very first two matches of the tournament, I thought. And I don't know. I thought this was pretty boring. A lot of just wandering around the ring type of brawling. I mean, it did pick up a bit later, but still nowhere near the match I knew these two could have. And it felt like they kept it in neutral out here at the sticks of Utsunomiya or something, which, that kind of thing does happen when wrestlers are wrestling in tiny buildings or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Just on top of everything else too, we had the most boring result possible, Kento winning. Yeah. I don't know. 2 3/4. Did not enjoy this that much.
Okay, I enjoyed that a lot more. Honestly, I really liked how angry they both got. Nomura, I think, has had kind of a mission statement in this little All Japan return that he's had that I'm really interested to see if it kind of blossoms into something else. But I think he really, really wants to kind of bring everyone back to like working, getting back to work in the mines of All Japan. Blood, sweat, and tears and all that shit, which was very much the theme of his match with Aoyagi in the first round that I also thought was really good.
Yeah, the match was awesome.
Yeah, probably the best match of the tournament so far.
Oh, not easily.
Yeah. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tension between the two. I did think there was a little bit too much on the outside, especially because this was a hard cam show, and they did a lot of brawling on the side of the ring, like the other side of the ring. So not ideal if you're watching on All Japan TV, obviously. But I thought the parts that picked up were really good. I really, really hope that Nomura is sticking around. Yes, Kento winning was the very predictable result. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he's winning the whole tournament. Yeah, I know. I think we're having... I know. I think we're doing a Honda versus Kento final with Kento winning. But also, I think this is probably for the best because Kento winning and then winning the belt is probably as hard a hard reset you could do on All Japan at this point. With Anzai returning soon, Nomura hopefully sticking around, and all the other guys kind of waiting for their turn. I think it's boring, but it's safe, and that's what All Japan needs.
Yeah. So there you go. Not enjoying this Odo tournament that much. We'll see how it ends. So the end is exactly a week from now, September 15th, which is a holiday in Japan. Let's see which wacky Japanese holiday this is. This holiday is Respect for the Aged Day. Kilo no Hi. So there you go. Respect your elder day, basically. Which makes sense for Japan. They got a lot of old people. But yeah, Monday, September 15th, so 11:30 a.m. early start. So an easy show for us to watch live over here in the U.S. Not so much for you guys in Europe, unfortunately.
So
it's 11:30 on the 15th, 11:30 a.m.
Fuck.
I know. 11:30.
Yeah, but it was the same thing for the finals last year, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so it's at Korakuen. It'll be a nice little 10:30 p.m. Sunday start time for me. Wow. But yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, so this show will have the All Asia title match, All Asia tag titles, Yuma Aoyagi and Atsuki Aoyagi against Musashi and Seki Yoshioka. That could be pretty good.
I'm expecting this, and I will not accept anything less than good.
And then we have the Royal Road Tournament semifinals and finals. So the semis, as we discussed, are Ren Ayabe versus Ryuki Honda and Kento Miyahara versus Daisuke Sekimoto. Hopefully in front of Korakuen, they're able to finally have some more good matches in this tournament. It's the only building where there's been good matches this tournament so far, in my opinion. So we'll see, all the way back in the first round. So we'll see what they can do here. And then obviously the final will be there that night, and we don't have the rest of the card yet. That's the only 4 matches we have. So that will be 2 episodes from now on Omakase, because next episode I'm going to record on Sunday.
So they hinted in the backstage comments, they hinted at a World Tag Team title match as well. That would be Odyssey and Zion challenging Hideki Suzuki and Kengo Mashimo. So I think it's maybe a little too close to put that match on that show, but maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably gonna put a match together in memory of Nagao. So
Probably, yeah.
Hideki could be in that one. So yeah, we'll see.
Alrighty, so we got through everything a lot faster than a lot of other episodes of the podcast, honestly. But we did have less to talk about, I think, so than I do on some of these, especially some of these shows where I'm doing like fucking 8 shows in one episode.
Oh, god damn!
Like with those the G1 and fucking 5-star at the same time was insane. You have
Yeah. I did a show, I did a pod about the All Japan Junior tournament. We ended up going for like 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of 4-hour episodes too, and one that went almost 5 hours. So that was kind of crazy podcast. But don't mind giving people a shorter one for once. So there was somebody who said they used this podcast for the root canal recently. So it was like they're like, it was better than the root canal. I was like, oh, thank you for that glowing review.
Wow.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here, Milo?
Well, I recently in July, but I recently published a really long, thorough, detailed article about KZ, who obviously is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I put a lot of my heart and soul into it. It's 10 years of fandom and 10 years of growing alongside this guy. I was really, really proud of it. If you want to read it, it's on 60minutedraw.com. That's 60 spelled out, I think. But yeah, you can find it on, you can find 60 Minute Draw on Twitter and like go from there. But yeah, it's 60 Minute Draw with 60 spelled out.
Send me the link, and I'll just put it in the description.
Yeah, that's the one thing I want to plug because I'm extremely proud of that piece.
Actually, I found it already. KZ Ode to Joy.
Yep, that's the one.
So I will link that in the description.
Thank you. It is, it's a labor of love, kind of the work of a lifetime. So I would, I know it's been a while since it's been published, but I think it, it's always relevant.
There you go. Alrighty. So, folks, first of all, Milo, thank you for coming on. Great to podcast with you again for all this time. That was awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. A lot of fun.
And thank you everybody for listening. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Russell Omakase, Wrestling Would Not Fit. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Just1MB. And next week we'll be back on here. It'll be Snazzy coming back on for the actual episode he was scheduled for originally, before he also graciously popped in when my guest last week came down with a last-minute flu. So next week we're going to have 3 more nights of the N-1. So the September 11th, 13th, and 14th. We'll talk about the 2 New Japan Korakuens, the 12th and 13th, only if there's anything interesting to talk about, especially the 12th. There might not be anything to talk about on that show, honestly. But the 13th show is kind of interesting with the being booked by the reality TV show people, the Shinichi champion people. So that'll be interesting. We'll also do more Joshi. So we'll have the September 10th Korakuen from Stardom and the September 14th Marigold Dreamstar GP finals. So we haven't done any Marigold in a while. So we'll talk about that as well. So that'll be on next week's Omakase. Until then, everybody, I want to thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.